We are the fourth. We are Arizona.
The D-backs have invaded San Diego, a win in the series opener last night. Tonight, over 100 front office staffers have arrived in town. They're here for the weekend as we try and keep the winning mojo going against the Padres. It's D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Petco Park, and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Renly along the way. D-backs tonight looking to make it 2 in a row over the Padres here, the second of a 4-game series. Robbie Ray gets the start tonight. Last year, Robbie Ray down the stretch was absolutely dominant. A big reason why the Diamondbacks clinched a postseason spot. This year, however, Bob, Robbie, post-All-Star break, still looking for that All-Star form.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a labor. I think we were all kind of lulled into a false sense of security with Robbie when his first start back off the disabled list was so good against the Miami Marlins. But the reality is he's starting to build himself back up. He was, as you said, a big part of the second half of the season for the Diamondbacks last year. He can still be a big part of the second half the rest of the way.
You see the difference in the strikeout to walk ratio. It's about half, and that's a little disconcerting, and hopefully keeping the pitch count down tonight. He's up against rookie Joey Lucchesi, the left-hander. Diamondbacks have already seen him 3 times this year, and Lucchesi is 0-3.
Yeah, 0-3 with an ERA approaching 7. Walked 8, struck out 12. The Diamondbacks do pretty well against the Churve and Joey Lucchesi. Doesn't seem to bother the D-backs hitters at all.
A lot of D-backs here in San Diego for the weekend, looking for win number 2. Ray and Lucchesi, the D-backs, and the Padres on Fox Sports Arizona. D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By the NASCAR Can-Am 500 at ISM Raceway, November 9th, 10th, and 11th. And by your Valley Honda dealers, where you'll get more standard features for less money. It's brought to you by Jack in the Box. This season, D-backs home run. Score free Jumbo Jacks, only at Jack in the Box. By Dos Equis, keep it interessante. By Chaz Roberts, air conditioning and plumbing. Choose Chaz. And by Gila River Hotels and Casinos. The card by Gila River Casinos earns you rewards 10 times faster than ever before. Sign up for the card today. The National League West leaders, the Arizona Diamondbacks, look to make it 2 in a row over the San Diego Padres. Robbie Ray on the mound next from Petco Park right after this. Night here. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Redley, Jody Jackson along the way. It's game 2 of the 4-game series, the D-backs and the Padres. And here's the Diamondbacks starting lineup tonight. It's presented by your Valley Chevy dealers. Hello, Cattell.
Hello, Cattell. John Jay will lead it off out in left field. Eduardo Escobar at third base. A.J. Pollock out in center field. Paul Goldschmidt at first base. Steven Souza Jr. will be out in right field. Nick Ahmed at short. Cattell Marte auditioning for us there. He'll be at second base. Jeff Mathis doing the catching for lefty Robbie Ray.
Well, so far so good for the D-backs against these Padres. 8-3 this year. 4-0 here at Petco Park. 3 more games to play in this series. Then the Padres are back for a quick 2-game visit to Chase Field beginning on Labor Day. And we finish the season here. The final 3 games in 2018 right here at Petco Park on the final weekend of September. Your Ram Truck starting pitcher for San Diego tonight, the rookie lefty Joey Lucchesi, who has pitched pretty well, 6-6, a 3.45 ERA, but the Diamondbacks have already seen him 3 times this year, and they've beaten him 3 times this year.
He's thrown a total of 14 2/3 innings in those 3 starts, giving up 11 earned runs. He is coming off a solid outing against the Phillies, went 6 innings of shutout baseball, only gave up 2 hits in that game.
E.D. Marshall Jewelers gives us a look around the diamond at the Padres defense in their glorious Friday brown and gold.
That's why you've been smiling all afternoon. Hunter Renfroe will be out in right field. Manuel Margot in center. Jose Pirela out in left field. Will Myers playing third base tonight. Freddie Galvis at short. Christian Villanueva moves from third to second. Eric Hosmer will be at first base with Austin Hedges behind the plate for lefty Joey Lucchesi.
Yeah, they got guys at all different positions tonight. More on that in a minute. Here's your umpires. James Hoy calls the balls and strikes behind the plate. The crew chief Eric Cooper down there at first base. Quinn Walcott is our second base umpire, and Sean Barber is at third. Time, Bob, for your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Well, we try to be as helpful as possible for the D-backs offense. So hit it here, or here, or here. You've got Will Myers playing third base. Not a totally strange position for him, but out of position tonight. Christian Villanueva, third baseman by trade, playing second base. And Jose Pirela, you just can't hide him anywhere on the field. He's made 9 errors out in left field this year, so pick on those guys.
D-backs 12 games over 500, leading the National League West by a game and a half over Colorado. They're 2 up on the Dodgers. John Jay in left field, 277 and 3 home runs, leads it off. A day off for David Peralta tonight. A Friday night in San Diego, just a beautiful night for baseball, and we're underway with strike 1. Now that's like a RoboCop shin guard right there.
Same thing up there on the right arm.
Jay has been plunked by pitches time and time again. Got hit by a pitch last night, in fact, in the first inning. After doubling in the first inning, Diamondbacks sent 11 men to the plate in the first last night, scored 5 runs. Lucchesi quickly ahead 0-2. Lucchesi, of course, has got this goofy delivery and the curve, the combination changeup curveball he throws. He gets a fastball down and away and strikes out Jay.
Yeah, I mentioned the Diamondbacks now seeing Joey Lucchesi for the 4th time this season, and they really haven't struggled against that curve. They've laid off the ones most of the time that are out of the zone and put good swings on ones that are in the zone, but a lot of fastballs there to John Jay to start the ball game. Lucchesi may change his approach a little tonight.
In the 2-hole, Eduardo Escobar, 275, 17 home runs. The switch hitter bats from the right-hand side. There's a fastball in there for a strike. Lucchesi coming out tonight, firing fastballs in there. It's funny, Lucchesi has a 6.75 ERA against the Diamondbacks this year and a 2.80 ERA against everybody else. So the D-backs have been a real thorn in his side. Another fastball misses upstairs. 1-1 on Escobar, who singled, walked twice, and scored a run last night. Lucchesi doesn't really deliver the pitch. He just kind of unfolds up there, piece by piece, section by section. He started this in high school, kind of polished it up in college. He pitched at Southeast Missouri. That's when he started the Clayton Kershaw-like move with his hands way up over his head. And he's got that big, funky leg kick, hides the ball pretty well. Boy, a lot of fastballs here.
Fastballs. You know, we've seen Lucchesi 3 times already. And when he extends his arms up over his head, that's when he gets his grip on the pitches. And we were able to see that curve very easily last time against the Diamondbacks. And so far, I haven't seen him really go to that curve grip. Well, that's fastball, 2-seam fastball. Of course, the hitter can't see that.
Well, James Hoy gives him the high strike, and it's full 3-2. A.J. Pollock bats third tonight. Goldie in a cleanup spot again against the left-hander. This is upstairs. Another fastball from Lucchesi. It's a 1-out walk. So here's AJ, hitting .285 with 15 home runs. D-backs, of course, with that 5-run first last night against rookie Jacob Nix. Padres rotation is full of rookies right now. D-backs lead the majors 103 first inning runs this year. A 300 team batting average in the first inning, also the best in baseball. Another fastball misses up, and it's 1-0 on AJ.
10 pitches for Lucchesi, all fastballs so far.
That? He is staying away from that curve that he throws, that combination changeup and curveball. Austin Hedges behind the plate. Here comes another fastball. In there for a strike, 1-1. He referenced that curve, a pitch he holds like a circle changeup, but then spins it like a curveball. It's kind of a unique pitch. He's got a standard curveball he started mixing it as well, but it's got some unique action on it. Oh, finally gets away from the fastball. There's that curve, and it's 1-2.
Circle change grip, but throws it leading with the heel of his hand like you would throw a curveball. It's weird. It's funny though, because pitchers all the time are goofing around with grips. When they play catch in the outfield in the afternoons when they first get to the ballpark, AJ chases a high heater for strike 3. Now, pitchers are always messing around with their grips. How do you hold your slider? How do you hold your split finger? What happens if I slide my index finger a little bit farther down the baseball? What if I move my thumb up on the baseball? That's basically all they do every day, is mess around with grips.
Well, he used the curve to set up the fastball that time and got AJ. Now it's Goldie at 284 and 27 home runs. Escobar down there at first, 2 outs. Goldie hits a fly ball deep left center field, and that ball is gone. The Diamondbacks strike first once again. 2-0 D-backs.
And I love it when a player pays attention to what's going on the field. Paul Goldschmidt saw Joey Lucchesi out there pumping fastball after fastball. Made up his mind he was not going to take that first pitch heater, and absolutely hit a skyscraper out there to left center field.
Goldie now with a 10-game hitting streak. That's his 4th home run on this road trip. And he has now reached base safely in 36 consecutive road games, a new Diamondbacks team record. With a jumbo jack, a free jumbo jack tomorrow, a jack in the box with a purchase of a large drink. Steven Souza Jr.
That was a jumbo jack.
Wasn't it?
That ball was so high in the air, I didn't know if he had enough distance to get it out of here.
And Manuel Margot was over there. He's pretty good at stealing homers, but that one was out of here and gone, his 28th of the year. And a record setter for Goldie. 36 consecutive games on the road, reaching base, a new D-backs record.
Oh, and it just goes on and on for Goldie. Since June 1st, he's now hitting .342. He's had 90 hits since June 1st.
That is the highest batting average since June 1st in the National League. Souza had 2 balls and no strikes. Well, now the Diamondbacks make it 105 first inning runs, the most in the majors. They have now scored runs in the top of the first inning in their last 5 games. Boy, 5 straight games with first inning runs all on the road. That's pretty impressive. A good start. Galvis at shortstop. Goldie's 28th, the early lead for Robbie Ray. We're in San Diego, 2-0 Diamondbacks. The home run against Joey Lucchese. Another one here tonight. And it's the early lead for your Ram truck starting pitcher for the D-backs, the lefty Robbie Ray. Winless since June 27th, the D-backs have lost each of Robbie's last 6 starts.
Well, you'd really like to see Robbie be very economical with his pitches tonight. He's averaging 18.1 pitches per inning. I believe that's 7th in the major leagues. That's way too many pitches. That's forced Torrey to take Robbie out of a lot of games way too early.
Jose Pirela in left field leads it off for the Padres. San Diego mixing up its defense over the final 6 weeks or so of this year, trying to get a look at guys in terms of where they might play defensively next year. And Pirela's been one of the guinea pigs out there in left field. He lined out to shortstop in his only at bat last night. Robbie behind 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, obviously everybody's different. Every pitcher's wound differently. They have had different experiences to get to this point, but you'd really like to see Robbie attack the strike zone the way Clay Buchholz did last night. He wasn't really overpowering with anything, but he just threw strikes, threw them on the corner, jumped ahead in counts, put the Padres hitters immediately on the defensive, and Robbie's got good enough stuff to do that.
Yeah, fastball command, the key for Robbie. Can he move that fastball around the strike zone and throw it 4 strikes? Get strikes in the zone, then get chase swings when he's out of the zone. He's got Jeff Mathis quarterbacking things back there tonight. Another breaking ball. Pirela fouls off a high slider. Robbie this year has not been putting hitters away with his fastball at the rate he did last year. He would stand on that pitch down the stretch last season and just blow guys away. He's not been able to do that this year. The fastball command just hasn't been there for him. Pirela fights that one off. We stay 2-2.
Yeah, I have recollections last year in the second half of Robbie just out there grunting and throwing fire, just blazing fastballs, challenging hitters. Here, try to hit this.
They rarely ever did. Just missed away with that curveball, and it's full 3-2. So right away, a long at bat by the leadoff hitter. Will Myers, the new third baseman these days, is on deck. Robbie trying to get Pirela with curveballs and sliders. And we'll keep going. A 9-pitch at bat to start. This was a problem with his previous start in Cincinnati Saturday, a 28-pitch first. And it was really uphill from there for him. And he misses with a fastball in the dirt, walks the leadoff man. Padres lineup brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealer.
Pirela led it off. He'll be out in left field. Will Myers making his way to the plate. He'll be at third base. Eric Hosmer at first. Hunter Renfroe out in right field. Christian Villanueva at second base. Austin Hedges catching. Freddie Galvis at short. Manuel Margot out in center. And lefty Joey Lucchese on the mound. Got to ask you, partner, I know you love these brown unis.
Oh, they are glorious.
How do you like them with yellow shoes?
I love those kicks. The mustard yellow cleats of Will Myers. Just let them wash over you. Lands that breaking ball in there for a strike. There they are. Padres, as they often do, wearing the throwback brown and gold on their Friday home game. Myers, 264, 9 homers. Back of the lineup. Had the night off last night.
Well, you'll be glad to hear this, partner. The Padres have conducted some, in quotes, exhaustive focus group studies.
I've been saying this for a long time.
There's a slight edge to go back to the brown, which they wore for the first 22 years the Padres were in existence. So there's still hope for you.
Shades of Nate Colbert and Tito Fuentes. Back in the glory days of the early Padres existence. Good hard breaking ball in there. Big swing by Myers, and Robbie's ahead 1-2. Myers always a problem, a career .325 hitter against the Diamondbacks. He just came back from the DL on Monday. He missed 9 games with a bone bruise in his left foot. He's got that left foot's got a big pad on top of that yellow shoe. And when he came back, he started all 3 games in their series here against the Angels at third base. So this is start number 4 for Myers as a third baseman. Trying the breaking ball. It keeps going to that breaking ball with 2 strikes. And he walked Perela. Now it's 2-2 on Myers. Eric Hosmer, left-hand batter, on deck.
And occasionally you'll get a swing at that slider when it bounces out in front of home plate. We've seen it happen many times with Patrick Corbin on the mound, with Robbie Ray on the mound for that matter. But a little closer to the bottom of the strike zone might get the results he's looking for.
Into the fastball at 96. Robbie, a no decision in his previous start on this road trip Saturday at Cincinnati. He only gave up 2 runs on 4 hits in 5 innings, only walked 2 batters, but just kind of seemed at times to be fighting himself out there. Had that 28 pitch first, then a 29 pitch 4th inning. Needed 106 pitches to get through 5. Clay Buchholz, just by contrast, threw 112, and he went the distance last night. So Robbie has really had to work just to finish off the requisite 5 innings.
That has been a problem for Robbie off and on this season, but throughout his career, the foul balls. Gets to those 2 strike counts and just cannot put guys away on that next pitch. They foul off 3 or 4, throws ball 3 and a couple more foul balls, and before you know it, that pitch count is through the roof.
Already at 15, he's only got 1 out so far. Another breaking ball misses, so he's worked it full on the first 2 batters he's faced. Hosmer on deck. Perela holds it first, and Myers just gets a piece of that one. A slider in on the hands. And we'll keep going. Already approaching 20 pitches in the first. This is in with a fastball. He's walked the first 2 batters he's faced. E.D. Marshall Jewelers has a look around the diamond at the D-backs defense today.
Robbie hasn't used anybody but the catcher so far. John Jay will be out in left, A.J. Pollock in center, Steven Souza Jr. in right field, Eduardo Escobar at third base, Nick Ahmed and Ketel Marte up the middle, Paul Goldschmidt at first base, Jeff Mathis doing the catching, and lefty Robbie Ray on the mound.
Right away, Mike Butcher, 2 batters into the ball game, uses a mound visit, trying to calm the waters. 2 on and nobody out for Hosmer.
It's really tough to put your finger on it, obviously sitting up here in the press box watching Robbie Ray pitch, but it just doesn't seem like he has a lot of conviction in his pitches. He's throwing them hoping they don't get hit instead of throwing them knowing they're not going to get hit.
Hosmer 255, 11 homers. Perela at second and Myers at first. Yeah, he had out there last year, Bob, kind of almost an arrogance about him. I mean, you just like the way he handled himself out there on the mound. This year he's been kind of searching for it, fighting himself, it looks like at times. He really having trouble landing anything for a strike right now. I mean, he almost dared you to try to hit the ball last year.
And other than command, there doesn't seem to be any difference in his stuff. He's still throwing in the high 90s. That slider breaks sharp and late when he gets it in the strike zone. He just hasn't been able to consistently command anything in the second half.
He's walked the first 2 batters he's faced. Now he's behind 2-0 on Hosmer.
Well, you just hope that light bulb goes on. We talk about it with hitters all the time. Just one good swing and everything falls back into place. Hopefully Robbie will have that one at bat at some point in this game where it just comes back and everything starts to flow again.
And the velocity has been there. The movement on his breaking ball has been there. Both the slider and the curveball. It's just the command of those pitches has come and gone. Already over 20s, yet to record an out. Another slider missed. 3 balls and a strike. Hunter Renfroe, who homered last night, is on deck. And he's been a problem for Robbie Ray in the past. Three ball counts on the first 3 San Diego batters. There's that high fastball. Hosmer swinging for the downs. Full count 3-2. Hosmer has been a .200 hitter against lefties this year. He's homered twice against left-hand pitchers. Three Padre batters, 3 full counts. There's a slow tapper to second. Marte will only be able to get 1. And the runners move up. So here's the right fielder, Hunter Renfroe. 245. He hit his 13th home run of the year last night. The only run given up by Clay Buchholz. Renfroe has 3 career hits against Robbie Ray. All of them are home runs.
And you do have a base open. You certainly wouldn't want to walk somebody intentionally in the first inning of a ball game, but if he falls behind, it wouldn't surprise me to see him pitch around him, bounce some sliders in the dirt, try to get him to chase a high heater. Take your chances with Villanueva in the on-deck circle. The problem with that is Robbie hasn't thrown enough strikes to make you feel like you can pitch around anybody.
Dropped a breaking ball in there to steal strike 1. Perela's at third. Myers at second. Hard to third. Escobar spins and throws. Perela scores, and it's 2-1.
Had a play on Perela coming down that third baseline. I think Escobar probably did the right thing. He may have had a play at home plate, but he was ready to throw to first, and any adjustment he makes after that, there's a risk of making a bad throw, hitting the runner in the shoulder, so he just took the out across the diamond.
So a run is in, 2 outs. Myers still at second. Here's the second baseman, Christian Villanueva, who was at third base last night, 235 and 20 homers. His first ever start at second tonight. Fastball misses badly, 1-0. Well, we mentioned Robbie Saturday at Cincinnati. The 28 pitch first. Pitch number 28 in this first inning tonight on the way.
She gave the ball to a Dodger fan.
See, that's
Well,
The kid hustled down there. I give him credit. Yeah.
he's got the Padre cap on at least. That's something.
Where was that? We had the dude that was San Francisco that was changing jerseys from inning to inning, trying to get balls from the outfielders.
Scam artist. Fastball misses in. 2 balls and 1 strike. Now you're looking at least a 30-pitch first. Popped it up to left. Jay coming in. And that ends the first inning. Padres get one back. It's 2-1 D-backs. There you go. D-backs have a 2-1 lead over the Padres. Hey fans, Diamondbacks will take on the Seattle Mariners at Chase Field coming up next weekend, August 24 through the 26th. And stick around after the game a week from tonight, next Friday. A free post-game concert featuring Mercy Me and the fireworks show, all brought to you by Gila River Hotels and Casinos. Big night at the ballpark coming up next Friday, August 24th. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. Nick Ahmed, 240 and 16 home runs this year. He has homered twice against Joey Lucchesi this season. There's that curve. Big loopy combo, change-up breaking ball. Nick last night walked and struck out 4 times. Which was a little unusual for Ahmed, the way he's been rolling offensively. Before last night, Nick had struck out only 3 times all month long, but he punched out in his final 4 at-bats of the ball game in last night's series opener. Walked his first time up. And there's a base hit for Ahmed to start us off for the second. Brings up Ketel Marte.
When Marte was putting on a show in batting practice today. You know, we watch the guys hit every day when they hit on the field, and you know, there's certain guys you expect to hit some long home runs in batting practice, but Ketel Marte was hitting balls over both bullpens in left center field out into the picnic area out there.
He must like this ballpark. He was taking some home run hacks in the game last night after they put that 5 spot up in the first. Thor was suggesting that might be one reason why the Diamondbacks recently, after getting all these first inning runs, kind of go quiet offensively for the rest of the ball game. That was the case again last night. They had 5 hits in the first inning, only 2 more base hits the entire rest of the ball game. So some guys might have got a little home run happy after getting that big lead. Marte trying to dunk one down the line. That one sits down nicely. Ahmed digging for third. And Marte is in there at second. A hustle double for Ketel Marte. Well, not a big swinger off the tee. That was kind of a knockdown sand wedge, but it worked out.
Worked out really well. That breaking ball got in on his knuckles a little bit, but muscles it out there in front of Pirela. And a very aggressive go that time by Ketel Marte. Gets tagged in the face, but gets a hand in underneath the tag. Boy, a hustle double. Every time he hits the ball, it's a hustle single, hustle double, hustle triple. That's all he knows.
And Nick had that play in front of him. Ahmed did not hesitate going from first to third. So the D-backs have something going. Second and third, nobody out. Here's Jeff Mathis. Fastball away. Lucchesi with a lot of fastballs the first time through the order. Mathis at 203 on the year. Jeff punches that one through into right field. Ahmed is home. Boy, the right side of the Padres infield came in a bit with runners at second and third, and Mathis split the difference.
I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it sure looked like it. Jeff Mathis saw Christian Villanueva come charging in from his position at second base, and well, you'll see him there. There he comes. He's coming in right up close to the edge of the grass. And Jeff doesn't hit this ball particularly hard, but had Villanueva been back in his normal position, he probably makes a play on that ball, gets an out at first, at least a run scores.
Mound visit for Hosmer, the first baseman. Marte in at third, Mathis at first. 3 base hits against Lucchesi start the D-back second, and here's the pitcher Robbie Ray.
We say it every time we have one of these first and third situations, and the pitcher at the plate, Joe Madden, would put down a safety squeeze.
Well, don't forget you've got Will Myers playing just his 4th game at third base. That's where you want to hit it. This is an experiment for Andy Green to see if Myers can maybe be their third baseman next year. He started 3 games earlier this week against the Angels here at third. So this is a very new thing for him. Now he'll back off just a bit, even with Marte, the runner. Here come the corners. Robbie bunts it over there. It's by Myers, and Marte will score. 4-1 D-back. So he put it in a perfect spot.
You said here comes Myers as soon as Robbie Ray showed bunt, and fortunately for the Padres, fortunately for Robbie Ray, he charged so hard he couldn't change directions quickly enough to get to that bunt. Well, once again, I'm not sure if that was intentional, but it sure worked well, taking advantage of a guy playing out of position.
You wonder, Bob, at third base about Myers' agility. He's a very athletic guy. Andy Green raves about his athleticism, but can he move around well enough to play third base? He came up in the minor leagues at first as a catcher. Don't forget, here's John Jay. He's going to bunt one over there at Myers. That one rolls foul. Putting Myers to the test in the second.
Anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free crunchy beef tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Are you suggesting we might get tacos here in the second? We had first inning tacos last night. Jay struck out to lead off the ball game. Still nobody out. John Jay drops down a bunt. Lucchesi will go to first. And that's the first out of the second. Mathis is in at third. Ray at second.
D-backs linking some at-bats here in the second inning. I like it.
Winning moments and playing downhill baseball.
Downhill baseball. Building innings.
That's Torrey speak. I think he used the whole every club in the bag on that last one right there.
For Ketel Marte, that was his 20th double of the season, giving him 20 doubles, 10 triples, 10 homers. Only the 4th D-back to ever do that. David Peralta did it back in 2015. Stephen Drew did it 3 different times, and Steve Finley did it a couple times as well.
Well, speaking of doubles, here's the major league leader, Eduardo Escobar, with 42 doubles this year. Tops in baseball, second and third, 1 out, and 2 runs in. They've got Lucchesi on the ropes in the second. Goldie's 2-run homer in the first gave the D-backs the early lead. Padres got 1 back in the home half of the first, scoring a run without the benefit of a base hit. A couple of walks to lead it off. One and one on Eduardo Escobar. Breaking ball misses way upstairs. 2-1. Diamondbacks last night against rookie right-hander Jacob Nix knocked him out of the ball game before the end of the first inning. Now they've got the rookie lefty on the ropes here in the second. Lucchesi actually coming off a win his last time out. He was very good Sunday here against the Phillies, one of his best starts all year, in fact. Worked 6 scoreless innings versus Philadelphia, gave up just 2 hits. Infield in for San Diego. Escobar fouls off a fastball. Joey Lucchesi has lost all 3 starts he's made against the D-backs this year. The first back in April at Chase Field, 4 runs in 5 innings. Then a return bout in Phoenix July the 6th. He was better. Only 3 hits in 5 1/3, but still lost 3-1. And 3 starts ago here at Petco Park, ended July, gave up 5 earned in 4 1/3, including 3 home runs. There's another foul ball by Escobar. We were here at the end of last month. Goldie, Pollock, and Ahmed all took Lucchesi deep. And AJ's on deck. Swing and a miss. That's the 3rd strikeout for Lucchesi. 2 down in the second.
Boy, got a breaking ball right in the middle of the zone that time. Took a big rip at it, but just out in front. Lucchesi took a little bit more off that pitch.
A chance for AJ. He struck out his first time. AJ last night singled, walked twice. He scored a run. He's hit safely in 6 of his last 7 games. Fastball misses low. D-backs 8-3 against San Diego this year. They are 4-0 here at Petco Park. Leading the National League West by a 1.5 games over the Rockies, 2 games up on the Dodgers. Rockies are at Atlanta tonight. The Dodgers are at Seattle. LA has an early lead, in fact, at Safeco Field, 1-0. They're in the 3rd. Colorado all over the Braves in Atlanta. They're up 10-2. Got the curve. Big swing and a miss. A lot of major league hitters don't see a 2-0 curve.
Especially with Paul Goldschmidt waiting in the on-deck circle.
Goldie homered in the first. Down the line and just fouled by Myers at third. There's Sean Barber.
That would have been action right down the third base line, just into foul territory.
And Sean Barber, perfect position to make that call right there on it. Myers has had an adventurous second inning.
You can't hide.
Not in those shoes anyway.
That's for sure. That ball will find you.
Another chirp, another strikeout of Pollock. Diamondbacks strand 2, but they get 2 more to take a 4-1 lead.
Offense gives their starting pitcher a bit of a cushion here. 4-1 D-backs. Robbie Ray on the hill. Jody Jackson with you. Now in that first inning, Robbie throwing 30 pitches, 17 for strikes. Talking to Jeff Mathis, who's catching him today, and Mike Butcher, they were looking for command. Command of the fastball, command of his breaking pitches, and we didn't really see that in that first. Not an efficient first inning for Robbie. He got out of it with just the 1 run. So it's still early, guys. He could still get on track. It was about this time last year. He came off the DL. He went on a roll. He had 8 starts from August 24th on. He won 6 of them. And Mike Butcher said, look, he's got good feelings about this time of year. He's hoping it'll click in. It could still do that here in this second inning. And you guys can file this away in the category of useless information. But Robbie wasn't wearing the headphones in the clubhouse today. I thought it was very odd. We know how consistent he is with his pregame routine. But he wasn't wearing them the whole time. So I don't know if that means anything at all, but that's what we observed in the clubhouse.
Well, anything, Jody, that will spark a change for Robbie, we're in favor of. He's just looking for that command that has evaded him so far this year. Austin Hedges, the catcher, leads off the Padres second. Yeah, that final hammer that would drive the nail in last year was that fastball, and he's not been able to throw it consistently for strikes. Misses one in there. And the slider and the curveball have kind of been all over the place so far. Robbie won his return start from the DL. 6 scoreless innings at Miami. That was back on June 27th. And he has not won since. 0-2 in his last 8 starts. That's going to reach the seats out of play. 2-2 on Austin Hedges. Hedges 0 for 4 last night. He's hitless in 3 straight games. Freddie Galvis, the shortstop, on deck. And right away, a full count to start off the second inning. He walked the first two batters he faced tonight. And now he's run it full on Hedges to start the second. Broken bat, little bloop. One hop for Marte. Backhand scoop. Goldie can't quite get it. Hedges is aboard. You had the broken bat. You had the dying quail that Marte had to play on a hop. And an offline throw to Goldie at first.
That's a long hop to Goldie at first base. That little short hop, you can just kind of pick that right off the dirt. But this longer bounce, you're never quite sure how high that's going to come up off the dirt. Goldie just couldn't corral it over there. Marte kind of slings it. He was indicating to Nick Ahmed rather that he perhaps didn't have a great grip on that ball that time. That'll be an E4.
They put an error up on the board. Here's the shortstop Galvis.
It's only his third error as a second baseman this year.
How about that, huh? There's the first pitch breaking ball right through the back door for strike one on Galvis, who's hitting .237. 10 home runs. Galvis leads the Padres in RBIs. He was 0 for 3 last night. Boy, that fastball almost went to the backstop. Tried the fastball, missed. 2-1 on Galvis. Galvis having a very productive month of August at the plate. He's homered in 5 of his last 11 games. That's where a lot of the RBIs have come from. Got under that one just a bit. Here comes Jay from left. Well, got a 2-1 fastball. There's one down in the second.
Well, hopefully a couple of outs like that will convince Robbie that he can attack the strike zone. I mean, every pitch is not going to get hit out of the ballpark or into the gap or even for a base hit. Fastball down the middle of the plate, got a high pop up into left field. Easy. Let's do it in the first couple pitches.
And well, Margot, 245 hitter. He's got 5 homers. The center fielder. There's a first pitch strike with a fastball. Margot is slumping, 1 for 21 in his last 8 games. The pitcher Lucchesi on deck. There's another fastball that almost went to the screen. Popped him up. Here comes Escobar from third.
Another easy pop-up. Watch Eduardo Escobar as he comes in on this pop-up. He'll start in and take a look at first base. Just to see what was going on over there with Hedges. Was he halfway? Is he on the bag? Should I let this drop and try to turn 2? Love guys that think on their feet out there.
He's a wonderful player. The pitcher, Joey Lucchesi. Robbie Ray 45 pitches to get the first 5 outs, but he's yet to give up a base hit. Padres got their run in the first on 2 walks and 2 ground balls. Hunter Renfroe had the RBI grounder. Waves at a fastball, and Robbie gets his first strikeout. We'll head to the third in San Diego. It's 4-1 D-backs. Now it's time for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Diamondbacks a game and a half ahead of Colorado atop the National League West. The Rockies in Atlanta, and they jumped all over Sean Newcomb and the Braves. They're still playing at SunTrust Park. The Rockies have an 11-2 lead. Dodgers are 2 games behind the D-backs. They have an early lead at Seattle tonight. Robbie Ray has a 4-1 lead as Goldie starts the Diamondback third against rookie lefty Joey Lucchesi.
Talk about a 1,000-yard stare. Robbie deep into his own thoughts over there in that third base dugout.
He's had to throw a lot of pitches, but he's yet to give up a base hit. Goldie homered in the first. His 28th of the year. He's now hit safely in 10 straight games. His second home run this year against Joey Lucchesi. That's our Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing Cool play of the game. He's now reached base safely in 36 consecutive road games, a new D-backs record.
Well, you rarely see Goldie attack that first pitch, but like I said, he had been standing in the on-deck circle. He'd been in the dugout watching Lucchesi in that first inning, just pump fastball after fastball after fastball, and Goldie went to the plate looking for it and did not miss it.
There it is, Goldie with that home run, breaking the record he previously shared with Eric Burns. Another Gonzo mark falls. Being very careful now, and Lucchesi's fallen behind 3-0 with Souza on deck. Lucchesi so far has walked 1. He's punched out 4. Took a little bit off that fastball that time, 3-1.
Looked like a curve grip as he put that glove up over his head.
Didn't put it in a bad spot, just a little low for James Hoy, and that's his second base on balls. Souza grounded out to end the first inning. Steven back in the lineup tonight. Had the night off last night. 245 and 3 homers. First pitch, curve, 0-1. Fastball for a strike, 0-2. Souza singled, walked, and scored a run Tuesday in the win at Texas. He sits safely in 7 of his last 8 games.
All right, Lucchesi with that unusual delivery, obviously deceiving to a hitter. You've got a lot of different things to look at, elbows and kneecaps flying all over the place, but it's also deceiving to a first base runner. I've been watching Goldie try to get a maximum lead over there at first, and I don't think he's got a great read on Joey Lucchesi just quite yet.
Well, Dave McKay should have a lot in the iPad by now. His 4th start against the D-backs this year. Souza drives one deep to left field. Pereira will play it off the wall. Goldie will stop at third. It's a double for Steven Souza Jr.
Goes down and gets that curve. Swung through one earlier in the sequence. Barrels this one up to the gap in left center field, up against the wall on a hop. Goldie has to hold at third base as the Padres were able to get that one back into the infield fairly quickly.
Already 6 hits for the Diamondbacks. They got 2 runs in the first, 2 runs in the second. Now second and third, no outs to start the third. Here's Ahmed, who singled and scored to start the second inning. Fastball's a strike, 0-1. Ahmed has homered twice this year against Joey Lucchesi. Here's a look at the Padres infield. Fastball just a bit inside for James Hoy. James Hoy generally considered a hitter-friendly umpire. He's not a strike caller by nature. He can get a little stingy at times. The fastball's low.
And we've seen that in the first couple innings of this ball game. Of course, for Robbie Ray, he's spraying it all over the place. You're not going to get very many borderline calls if you don't prove you can hit your spots consistently.
Trying to pad the 4-1 lead for Robbie right here. 2-1 on Nick. Time for another mound visit for Austin Hedges. We've seen Hosmer go out there from first. Now Hedges from behind the plate. Comes James Hoy to break it up. Pitchers, when James Hoy is the plate umpire this year, have an ERA over 5. That is the 7th highest among major league umpires. So he makes you throw strikes. Fastball is there for Lucchese. That's his 5th strikeout. Here comes Torey Lovullo trying to save his shortstop. And Nick Ahmed has been ejected. He was walking away with his back to the umpire and was thrown out of the game. And Nick is going to get his money's worth right here.
He's going to get more than his money's worth. The longer he stays out there, the more he's going to have to pay in a fine.
He had walked back toward the dugout with his back to Hoy when he was tossed. And James Hoy giving Torey Lovullo the full explanation. Eric Cooper, the crew chief, trying to get everybody back in the dugout. And Ahmed has been run.
And it looked like Nick said the ball moved a couple of times. Take a look at the pitch by pitch. Well, that was actually the strike 3 pitch right there. And the thing was, I was just saying, if you prove you can hit your spots, an umpire, even with a tight zone, is more likely to give you a borderline pitch. And Lucchese hit one on the inside corner. He missed just off the inside corner, but he was right in the same vicinity. So when that strike 3 pitch came in there, maybe a little off the inside corner, James Hoy a little more willing to give it to Lucchese that time because he proved he could hit that spot.
So they get the strikeout of Ahmed and the ejection. They'll give Marte the intentional walk with first base open, so they're loaded. 1 out for Jeff Mathis, the number 8 hitter, who had an RBI single his first time up, and Mathis hits one to Galvis. They wanted the double play, and it works out for Andy Green. D-backs at second and third, no outs. They don't score and lose their shortstop. James Hoy, Daniel Descalso takes over at second base. Ketel Marte slides to short. Don't forget, fans, you can catch an MLB doubleheader tomorrow on FS1. The Orioles and the Indians, and then Ryan Braun and the Brewers take on Matt Carpenter and the Cardinals. It all starts at noon on FS1, or you can stream it live on the Fox Sports app. Torey Lovullo watches his shortstop get tossed, and now Jose Pereira will lead off the Padre third against Robbie Ray, who leads it 4-1. I think, Bob, Nick got rung up twice last night when he struck out 4 times in the game. 2 of them were called strikeouts by Sean Barber, who's now the third base ump tonight. So he may have had a little edge to him going into the game tonight and boiled over there on James Hoy.
And hopefully it won't impact the ball game here. I mean, Ketel Marte has proven he can handle the position at shortstop. Daniel Descalso has been very good no matter where you put him this year defensively, but tough to replace Nick Ahmed's glove.
Nick has been the best defensive shortstop in the league. Well, Robbie walked Perela and Myers to lead off the ball game for the Padres. Perela scored on a Hunter Renfroe ground ball. And he's fallen behind 3-0. There's a fastball for a strike. Will Myers, the third baseman, on deck. Fastball missed in. Third walk issued by Robbie Ray. Both times leading off an inning by Perela. Myers walked his first time. So Will Myers, the third baseman this week. He did make 15 starts at third base when he was in Kansas City's minor league system. That was way back in 2012. He made one start at third base in A-ball last week on a DL rehab assignment, but he's been taking ground balls down there for a while. He's worked a lot with Glenn Hoffman and Josh Johnson on his defense at third, and they've rolled it out this week. Robbie walks Perela, now behind on Myers 2-0. Three balls and no strikes. Eric Hosmer on deck. Fouled off the fastball. Full count 3-2. Robbie last faced the Padres back on July the 7th. That was in Phoenix, his third start back from the DL after the oblique injury. And in that game, he really struggled throwing strikes. He walked 4 batters, needed 96 pitches just to go 4 1/3. His only previous appearance against the Padres this year. And he's now walked 4. He walked the first 2 in the first, and now the first 2 in the third. And there comes Hosmer.
We know Torrey is reluctant to pull the plug on a starting pitcher. He wants guys to figure it out, get back into that strike zone, give the team a chance to win a ball game. But you wonder how much longer you can continue with Robbie Ray just missing the strike zone so consistently.
The Diamondbacks have won just once in Robbie Ray's last 8 starts.
And the Padres are not a real patient hitting team. They want to swing the bats, but until Robbie proves he can throw some strikes, I think we'll see a lot more patient at bats.
Hosmer grounded out his first time up. A ground ball kicks off Robbie and rolls into left. Perela will come in and score, and it's 4-2. Looked like that may have hit Robbie in the leg. Here's a look.
Here comes linebacker. Looked like it caught him on the inside of the right leg and ricocheted away from Ketel Marte on into left field. Varela comes around, scores easily.
Ryan DePanfilo out there to have a look at Robbie Ray. That is the Padres' first base hit in the ball game.
And it comes from a left-handed hitter coming into tonight. Lefties had only hit 132 this season against Robbie Ray.
I'll give it a test run here.
Gives a thumbs up, says he's good to go.
Well, he better be sure, because Hunter Renfroe has homered off Robbie Ray 3 times in his career. Renfroe drove in the first San Diego run, an RBI ground ball after Robbie walked the first 2 batters in the first inning. Still nobody out. A run is in. Fastball misses upstairs. 1-0. Renfroe having a decent second half to the year. 6 home runs in 22 games since the All-Star break. He homered here last night. Fastball's a strike, 1-1. In fact, Renfroe on the Padres' last road trip against the Cubs and the Brewers homered in 4 consecutive games. Once at Wrigley Field, at all 3 games at Miller Park. A very high contact to damage ratio as of late. 2 balls and a strike. Fastball fouled away, 2-2. Hunter Renfroe, former Padres first-round pick out of Mississippi State, the 13th overall selection in the 2013 draft. He's from Gallman, Mississippi. Spikes a slider in the dirt, and it's a full count, 3-2. I have that as the 6th 3-2 count of the ball game already for Robbie Ray. Renfroe hits one to deep left center field. A.J. Pollock is there. Myers tags second to third.
It looked a lot scarier than it was. That ball didn't carry much out to left center at all. A.J. able to move over from his center field position and make the play, but Will Myers alertly tags up and moves up 90 feet.
There's some room in the gaps here in this ballpark, Petco Park. Villanueva, the second baseman, flied out to end the first. This is a guy who has done all his damage this year against left-hand pitchers. 14 of his 20 homers off of lefties. StatCast AI powered by AWS. Christian Villanueva most likely will hit it to the left-hand side according to the numbers. He's hitting over 340 versus lefties this year. Fastball is in, but James Hoy says that's a strike. 0-2. He's kind of making Nick Ahmed's point for him there. You use this term all the time, Bob, with Robbie, and we've seen it a lot again tonight. Non-competitive pitches. Some of these are not even close.
Yeah, I mean, they leave his hand, and right away you can tell it's going to be up and away out of the strike zone, or sliders that right away you can tell are going to bounce a foot in front of home plate. You know, hitters are not going to even think about swinging at those pitches. They're going to zone in on that strike zone.
And as a result, you're not going to get guys to chase pitches you might otherwise normally would, and that's going to drive the pitch count up higher and higher. Robbie looking at pitch number 70 with only 1 out in the 3rd. Late time granted by James Hoy.
Eric Hosmer's getting a pretty healthy lead over there at first base. I don't think he has any intention of taking off. 5 stolen bases. He's been caught 4 times, but he was out there where the base stealers get. Maybe trying to draw a throw over to first base from Robbie.
There's another one. He's almost thrown 3 or 4 fastballs to that screen over the head of Jeff Mathis today. 70 pitches, 38 strikes. He has walked 4. He struck out 1. Boy, Jeff Mathis keeps Myers down there at 3rd with that block. A slider in the dirt, and it's full again. 3-2. He has gone 3-2 on 3 of the last 4 batters he's faced, and 7 in the ball game. 7 full counts already. The Brain Trust looking for plan B here at this point. Ouch.
He did that in the ball game last night, I believe. Fouled one off that front foot. Broke his bat on that one. Hopefully he didn't break his foot.
He's got that protector on there.
This is an unnecessary delay. This is not supposed to happen. We've talked about this before. Major League Baseball, in an effort to speed up some of the dead time in the game, requires the bat boy to bring 2 bats out to the on-deck circle just in case this happens.
They've done a wonderful job with that. You
Yeah.
almost never see this at all anymore. It used to be a long, drawn-out process.
Yeah, guys would go back into the dugout and search through the bat rack. Well, where's the lucky one? Which is the one I want to use this time? Take their old sweet time, put pine tar on it, and rosin, mosey back up to the plate. It used to take 5 minutes for a guy to get a new bat.
Full count, 3-2. Here it is. Got him. Into the slider, and Robbie gets a big out number 2, his 2nd strikeout.
And it was a flat one that stayed up in the zone. Got away with it that time. Keep hoping a pitch like that will send a message to Robbie Ray. Geez, I just threw a slider belt high right down the middle of the plate, and the guy swung through it.
What's the message?
Throw more pitches over the plate. I know he's trying to, but maybe don't be so fine. Don't move out on the corners if you're Jeff Mathis. Sit right down the middle of the plate until Robbie starts hitting the mitt.
Austin Hedges, the Padres catcher. Hedges has 9 homers this year, 5 of them since the All-Star break. He's got runners in the corners and 2 outs. There goes Hosmer. No throw from Mathis. That's a stolen base for Eric Hosmer, his 6th of the year. Mathis with Myers down there at third, not risking a throw. 0-2 on Austin Hedges. Mentioned Hedges got some home run power coming off an 18 homer season last year. That was the most home runs by a Padres catcher since Mike Piazza in 06. You almost forget that Mike Piazza was once a Padre.
When you talk Padre catching, I immediately think Benito Santiago and Terry Kennedy, but Mike Piazza was here briefly.
Gene Tennis, maybe?
Gene Tennis, yeah, going back a little farther.
Terry Kennedy for a long time,
yeah,
on that 84 World Series team. Still 0-2. There's a breaking ball. Hedges strikes out. But the Padres get a 1 back. Through 3, it's 4-2 D-backs. Field, Seattle. Dodgers 2 games behind the D-backs NL West lead. And they are homering off Seattle's Wade LeBlanc. 4-1 LA. And Seattle, they're in the 5th inning. Rockies all over the Braves in Atlanta. So it looks like the Rockies are definitely going to win. That might be a final already. Yes, it is. 11-5 was the final. Colorado wins in Atlanta. The Dodgers are leading at Seattle. Here it's 4-2 D-backs. Robbie Ray leads off the 4th against Joey Lucchesi. So the D-backs a game and a half up on Colorado, 2 up on LA. And it looks like they'll need a win here tonight to maintain their division lead over those 2. Robbie had a bunt single and an RBI his first time up. Got one by Will Myers at third for a run. Lucchese at 60 pitches, 40 strikes. He has walked 3 so far, 1 intentional. He's punched out 5. D-backs with 2 in the first and 2 in the second. John Jay, the one-time Padre, in the leadoff spot again tonight, on deck.
Cubs with a 1-0 lead over the Pirates. Bottom of the 9th inning, Kyle Schwarber with a solo home run, the only offense in that ball game for either team. It was Trevor Williams against Cole Hamels. Hamels with 7 innings of shutout baseball again tonight for the Cubs.
Yeah, the Cubs got to figure out something in that rotation if they're going to make a postseason run here. Pirates made a move to stay in the discussion. They went out and got Chris Archer from Tampa Bay. Padres been selling off bullpen pieces here. Moved a couple of key relievers at the deadline, including their closer Brad Hand, who went to Cleveland. Well, Robbie, good at bat here. He's worked it full against Lucchese, 3-2. Rung up on a low fastball that was below the knees. 6 strikeouts for Lucchese. I mentioned that James Hoy has been a hitter's umpire, trending in the other direction here tonight.
Yeah, it was still a good at bat by Robbie Ray, forcing Lucchese to throw 8 pitches to retire him on that pitch that looked to be a little low.
John Jay. John Jay played the 2016 season here with San Diego as a Padre. Myers in on the grass at third. There's that breaking ball for a strike. John Jay in 2016 hit .291 in 90 games with San Diego. Missed much of that year with a broken right forearm. 0-2. D-backs have out hit San Diego 6-1. They lead it 4-2. Each team has left 4 base runners. There's a base hit for John Jay to left center, a 1-out single. John Jay's a guy that we're going to see a lot of down the stretch. He's even worked into the starting lineup tonight against the left-hander Lucchese. Just has a knack for getting on base. Eduardo Escobar has walked and struck out.
John Jay's only attempted 2 stolen bases as a member of the Diamondbacks. He's been thrown out once, successful once. There was a time earlier in his career where he was a stolen base threat, but not so much anymore.
That strike zone starting to get a little chunky. That fastball was up, but strike one, says James Hoy. Casey getting the high strike and the low strike in this half inning. And Escobar waves at a curve. 1-2. Hard to tell the difference sometimes between that curveball and the curve. He does throw 2 different breaking balls, technically.
Talking to Mark Grant about that before the game. I caught a lot of pitchers that said they threw 2 different breaking balls, but they looked identical. But just to pacify them, I put down a 2. Yeah, that was a good curveball. A 3. Yeah, that was a great slider. And if you looked at him on video, you couldn't tell the difference. But as long as he thought he was throwing 2 different breaking balls, I was okay with it.
Robbie Ray is a little bit like that. Robbie's curveball and slider look awfully similar sometimes. Fastball is in, 2-2. It's been a struggle for Robbie, but he's only given up 1 base hit. He's walked 4 through 3 innings. He's got 3 strikeouts and a 4-2 lead. Escobar belts it into center. John Jay digging for third. And the D-backs with a 1 out have runners on the corners for A.J. Pollock.
The ball was stung back up the middle of the field by Escobar that time. Good base running by John Jay to go first to third, right in the face of Manuel Margot. Thought Margot might try to throw him out at third base. He made mistakes like that earlier in the year, but the Padres have tried to get him to think more on his feet out there in center field, make the appropriate throw, and that time he did throw it into second base to keep the double play in order.
Well, AJ's had a difficult time so far with Joey Lucchesi. He's been up there twice and struck out twice, 0 for 2. Trying to bunt, pops it up behind the screen. I think even with the number 3 hitter, let's just bunt it right at Will Myers and see what happens. He's down there at third base, only his 4th game down there. All this week, it's a new experiment for Andy Green. I mean, why not just run it right at him?
And he barely moved on that bunt attempt by A.J. Pollock. I mean, A.J. squared a little bit early that time. Didn't quite get the bat on the right angle to bunt it down the third base line, but Myers didn't even move.
Spikes a breaking ball up there. I mean, Myers has played all over the field in his career. He came up in the Royals minor league system as a catcher. Eventually they moved him to the outfield. He was a right fielder his first 2 big league seasons in Tampa Bay. The Padres, when they brought him in here, tried him in center field for a while. Then they moved him to first base. Then they signed Eric Hosmer. Myers was in left earlier this year. Now they're trying him at third. So he's been everywhere.
Well, and as you said, he's a really good athlete. Yeah. I mean, the guy runs well. He throws the ball well. He seems to have great instincts. But third base is a different position. It is very reactive. You don't really have a lot of time to think and use your athletic ability. You just have to react quickly. So that's a little bit of a different approach down there when you're at the hot corner.
And what's been a little bit unique about Myers so far, he tends to backhand everything at third. Almost like a first baseman scooping a throw out of the dirt. But he's made all the plays so far this year. This week anyway. 2-1 on Pollock. Escobar takes off. A.J. almost got John Jay down there at third. John had the limbo out of the way of that one. Escobar has to go back to first.
It's been a while since we've explained that, but the rule is if the runner's in foul territory and gets hit with a batted ball, it's just a foul ball. If he happens to be in fair territory and get hit, he is out. Yadier Molina took one right off the wallet earlier this year, leading off third base in foul territory.
AJ got out in front of that one, couldn't keep it fair. Now it's 2-2. Escobar holds, and AJ fouls off a fastball. Goldie has homered and walked. He's on deck.
To say that these two pitchers have labored through the early innings is an understatement.
It's been a grind.
Woo.
Both these guys might be at 100 pitches if they can get through 5 at this rate. Escobar takes off again. AJ again fouls it back.
Good pitch to hack at right there. Breaking ball up there at the top of the zone at 77. AJ had a nice swing on it, just fouled it straight back.
Now 80 pitches for Joey Lucchesi. He's walked 3, 1 intentionally. He's got 6 strikeouts. Diamondbacks with 4 runs on 8 hits. First and third, 1 out in the 4th. Escobar holds. Breaking ball misses low, and it's full 3-2.
Yeah, slide step that time from Lucchesi. Escobar running on the previous 2 pitches, so he tried to unload as quickly as possible, hoping for a strike 3 and a possibility of a strike him out, throw him out double hit or double play.
Edge has got a big throwing arm back there, the Padre catcher. Here it is on 3-2. He'll keep an eye on Escobar over there.
Tony Paraschica goes through another set of signs to Eduardo Escobar over there at first base, and then verbally tells John Jay if there's anything on. Is he going to run? Is he holding his ground? You want to know that as a runner at third. If Escobar is going to break for second, you take a much more aggressive secondary lead.
Bounced in the hole. Myers has got it. Villanueva won't be able to turn 2. Jay scores, and it's 5-2 Diamondbacks. Tacos once again in San Diego.
Road tacos. We love those road tacos. Very slow developing attempt at a double play right there. Myers playing deep and let the ball come to him, almost eliminating any chance of getting AJ at first base.
That was interesting. You've got Myers, just his 4th game at third. Villanueva, his first ever game at second base. Part of this new defensive experiment that San Diego is going through. Chance for Goldie now.
Talking about Villanueva at second base, Josh Johnson, one of the Padres infield instructors, feels he has a chance to make the transition from third base over to second base. We'll see. A lot of moving parts for the Padres right now, and I imagine we'll see a lot more between now and the end of the season.
They're trying to see if they can find a genuine utility guy or 2 for next year. That's sort of the thinking behind it for Andy Green. They're clearly not going anywhere this year. They're looking for options going forward into next season, guys who can give them depth at multiple positions. And Andy Green was saying last night the only way you're going to find that out is if you kind of bounce them around the field a little bit, and that's what they're doing. So you've got Pereira in left. He's been out there before, but Myers at third. Villanueva, who was at third base last night, making his first start at second today. Well, Lucchese's spot will be up third in the bottom half of this fourth inning. He's at 83 pitches. Bullpen did yeoman's work for the Padres last night. They used 5 different relief pitchers to throw 8 1/3 innings of scoreless baseball after Jacob Nix was run from the ball game in the first. Here's the 2-0 to Goldie. Oh man. Well, the strike zone just keeps getting bigger and bigger for James Hoy, north and south. Two and one. Up the middle, and that one is through into center. Pollock heads for third. Goldie aboard for the third time in 3 plate appearances. And a chance for Steven Souza Jr. Here comes Darren Bowlesley.
I don't think we've seen anybody run out of mound visits yet this year. This might be a first for us.
We're on pace.
Pace.
Yeah, let's see. That's well, they've used up half of them so far, and we're only in the fourth inning. And the bullpen does indeed get busy with a pitcher spot, due up third in the next half inning for San Diego. That's Miguel Diaz, the right-hander, just recalled today from AAA El Paso, as they sent Makita back down to the minors after he worked 3 1/3 last night and looked good doing it. Japanese submarining right-hander. Souza doubled to deep left center his last time up. A run is in. First and third, 2 outs. Almost got him with a fastball. Joey Lucchese, his 4th start against the Diamondbacks last year. He's lost all of his previous 3 starts against the D-backs.
Sweat just dripping off the bill of his cap out there.
This one has been a labor as well.
The best word, individual word I ever heard to describe an outing like Lucchese and Robbie Ray tonight is a slog. S-L-O-G. It just feels right. What a slog.
It's only the top of the 4th. Villanueva at second. Toss to Galvis to get the force on Goldie. Diamondbacks get a run. They lead it 5-2.
5-2 D-backs as we head to the bottom half of the fourth inning. Time to take a look at this day in baseball history, brought to you by Geico. This is one of our favorites. We bring it back every year. Our old buddy, the late, great Richie Ashburn, hit a foul ball that broke the nose of a female spectator. Now, the appropriate authorities came down, put her on a stretcher, and as they were taking her out of the ballpark, Richie hit her with a second foul ball.
That's
on
not
the
even
stretcher.
that's not even the best part of the story, right?
No, she was actually the wife of the sports editor.
Wow.
Yeah, not that we have anything against print media, but
They are not the enemy.
they are not.
Freddie Galvis leads off the bottom of the fourth against Robbie Ray.
Yeah, the lady's name was Alice Roth. She was the wife of an editor at the Philadelphia Bulletin. The old Bulletin.
That's what you call a late breaking bulletin.
I told you guys before the game, Ron Santo used to tell great stories about playing against Richie Ashburn back in the day. And after that happened, it became a thing. The guys would yell, "Hey, my barber's sitting in the fourth row, second seat off the aisle. Hit him." Yeah, the mechanic that overcharged me today is sitting on the aisle, seventh row. Hit him.
Robbie already at 80 pitches, trying to get the first out of the fourth, and he's behind on Galvis. 3 balls and 1 strike. He has walked 4 so far, struck out 3. Galvis, Margot in the pitcher spot, due up in the San Diego fourth. Ketel Marte at shortstop. Offline, Goldie able to backhand that one and keep a foot on the bag. That's the second dicey throw that Marte has made. He's already got 1 throwing error tonight. And they're at shortstop after Nick Ahmed was ejected by plate umpire James Hoy after a called strike 3 in the third. So Marte back over to short. Descalso took over at second.
I was going to say, you can get away with those sidearm flips from second base because you don't have far to throw the ball. It doesn't have much time to move. But if you try to make that same sidearm flip throw from shortstop, it's probably going to end up in the dirt. And Ketel knows that. He's played enough shortstop to know that an overhand throw is much more effective from the left side of the infield.
Manuel Margot, the center fielder, popped up his first time. Pitcher spot is up next. Franmil Reyes has come out in the on-deck circle. It's a hit for Lucchesi. Reyes was in right field last night, went 0 for 4. There's a little tapper. Robbie Ray races over there, collects it, plants and throws. Margot can really run. That was close, but they get him at first, 2 outs. And now Robbie Erlin will come out. He made a start the other day for San Diego. Reyes goes back in the dugout, and Erlin, the pitcher, will hit for the starting pitcher, Lucchesi.
Erlin 3 for 12 this season. Struck out 5 times in his 12 at-bats.
Well, a nice quick fourth inning would do wonders for Robbie Ray, who's now retired 5 in a row since Eric Hosmer's RBI single. Erlin pitched 6 innings in a start against the Angels here on Wednesday. Threw 89 pitches in that ball game. Gave up 2 runs, 8 hits in 6. And he takes the at bat for Lucchesi. 2-2.
First pinch hit appearance in the career of Robbie Erlin.
There is action in the Padre bullpen as Miguel Diaz continues to get loose. Pitch number 90 from Robbie Ray on the way. He did not go, says Eric Cooper. Full count, 3-2.
Robbie Erlin's first career pinch hit appearance, and he draws a walk from Robbie Ray. 5th walk of the ball game issued by Robbie. A pitcher acting as a pinch hitter. And that brings up Perela, who has walked twice, the leadoff man.
Well, you'd have to say that strategy worked for Andy Green that time. Didn't want to burn one of his bench players, figuring maybe he'll need an at-bat later in the ball game with a real hitter up there at the plate. So he picked his best hitting starting pitcher and sent Robbie Erlin up there, and he draws a base on balls.
Perela's walked twice, scored twice. Well, the same thing plaguing Robbie Ray that plagued him Saturday at Cincinnati when he had a 28 pitch first and a 29 pitch fourth. 106 pitches to get through 5 innings against the Reds the other day. And now he's fallen behind on Perela, 3-0. Will Myers on deck. Myers has walked twice today.
Some bodies starting to move around out in the Diamondbacks bullpen. They don't need a phone call. Guys understand when the starting pitcher is really struggling. They've probably been slowly stretching out there since the first inning.
Well, certainly after the off day Wednesday and Clay Buchholz's complete game last night, the bullpen is rested and ready. 3-1 to Jose Perela. Full count, 3-2. That's the 8th 3-2 count of the game for Robbie Ray. Goldie playing behind Erlin at first. Escobar coming in from third. We head to the 5th at San Diego. D-backs have a 5-2 lead.
What have we done to your poor restaurant?
You have broken my restaurant into a million pieces. Look, turn around. Take a look at this.
Get to get some questions with Steve. Excited about that. Get to get a cup of Joe at a nice restaurant. Excited about that. No, it's cool.
I'm Sierra. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Steve.
How do we feel about what's about to happen?
I'm very excited.
How'd it go?
It was great. Breakfast was great. Steve was great. Now I'm headed home into the field.
Steven Souza Jr., the debut episode of Cup of Coffee comes up Sunday here after our game against the Padres on Fox Sports Arizona. New pitcher for San Diego starts the fifth. It's Miguel Diaz, recalled today from the minor leagues for the second time this year. Daniel Descalso, who took over at second base following the ejection of Nick Ahmed in the third, will lead off the fifth. Daniel, 256 and 10 homers. Ahmed ejected after a strike three call by plate umpire James Hoy in the third. So Marte took over at shortstop and Descalso came in to play second base. By the way, we shot that Cup of Coffee episode the morning after that 14-inning game against the Phillies that lasted 4 hours and 38 minutes. So extra special thank you to Steven Souza Jr. and Nick Ahmed, who were both there for that shoot. First one comes up Sunday following our game here. That's the Steven Souza Jr. episode. The Nick Ahmed Cup of Coffee debuts early next month. Producer Josh Kellman can start working on that one now that the Souza one is in the can, as they say. 2-2 on Descalso. Called strike three. There's the fastball. James Hoy's had an interesting night back there.
Yeah, an amoeba-like strike zone. Just kind of moves around. You know, Descalso takes a hack at a high fastball in the first delivery. Diaz scoots it inside a little farther. He swings at that one too. Just all heaters here, just challenging with mid to upper 90s, and another fastball at the top of the zone for a called strike three. Our Nationwide Vision center's eye on the game.
Well, it's a good thing Ben Zobrist is not playing in this game after arguing for the electronic strike zone. Ketel Marte.
I find it kind of interesting that Ben Zobrist is arguing for an automated strike zone. This is the same guy that got in trouble with MLB for wearing the black shoes to honor the players that played in generations before.
He's got an old school mentality while embracing the new technology.
There you go.
Best of both worlds. There is action in the D-back bullpen. Jeff Mathis, the number 8 hitter, is on deck. Pitcher spot behind him. Brad Ziegler getting loose.
Robbie Ray with 97 pitches through 4. Joey Lucchesi with 90. 187 total pitches to get through 4 innings in this game.
Clay Buchholz went the distance last night through 112 pitches. Eric Hosmer at first base. 2 outs.
You know, we mentioned earlier about Ketel Marte being the 4th Diamondback to have 20 doubles, 10 triples, and 10 homers in a season. He's the first player under 25 years old to do that since Starling Marte did it back in 2013.
So here's Mathis. Robbie Ray is in the on-deck circle. Jeff had an RBI single back in the second. D-backs with 2 in the first, 2 in the second, and 1 in the fourth. They lead at 5-2. They've out-hit the Padres 9-1. This is down the line in left. Perela makes a nice sliding grab. 5-2 Diamondbacks. Bottom 5 coming up.
It's one hit so far against Robbie Ray. And Torey Lovello earlier today saying David Peralta's okay just getting a day off. Peralta was not seen in the clubhouse earlier, and he said he told him to arrive closer to game time. And, you know, when asked if that was a unique situation, he turned to Paul Goldschmidt, who was in the dugout at the time, and said, Goldie, when I give you a day off, what do I tell you about when to come in? 3 o'clock? Or Goldie says, well, whenever I want before the game. So that was the situation with David Peralta today, guys. Just a little bit more rest, kind of get him off his feet.
All right, so we'll look for David Peralta as Will Myers leads off the bottom of the 5th against Robbie Ray, who starts the inning at 97 pitches through 4. There's a breaking ball for a strike. Myers has walked twice so far. A 100 pitches, 56 for strikes. 2-2 on Myers. Robbie at Cincinnati Saturday needed 106 pitches to complete 5 innings. At 101 right now with Eric Hosmer on deck. Brad Ziegler was warming up in the bullpen in the top half of this inning. He's still up there, but in no hurry. He's good to go at this point. Fastball is up. You sort of get the feeling that if Robbie gives up a base runner, we might see Ziegler, if not sooner. Another full count, 3-2.
Could possibly, if he walks Myers, stay in to face Hosmer.
Goldie's got it at first.
No, he'll definitely stay in to face Hosmer.
Hosmer has grounded out. He's got an RBI single.
MLB.TV is now available at a lower price for $49.99. Watch every out-of-market regular season game, plus get a free subscription to MLB at Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV to take advantage of this special offer.
Well, the way Robbie has sprayed the ball around, it certainly was not intentional.
The curveball just kind of lost the handle on it that time, sailed up and in instead of breaking down low and away from the left-handed hitter.
Hosmer has knocked in the Padre run, a ground ball up the middle. It went off the leg of Robbie Ray in the 3rd. It scored Pereira, who had walked to lead off the inning. In the air, backs up Jay in left field. He's at the track, he's at the wall, and that ball is gone. Opposite field home run for Eric Hosmer. Just cleared the fence out there. That's his 12th. Let's see if this is fan interference. The beverage is in the glove. That Padres bro put his beer right in John Jay's glove. And here comes Torey Lovello. It looked like, I'm not even joking about this, the entire cup of beer was inside the glove.
That's exactly what it looked like.
I mean, that's a first. You better drink that thing while you still can. Eric Cooper with his back to you there, number 56, is the crew chief, the first base umpire.
Couldn't tell from that first look if the gentleman with the beverage actually made contact with John Jay, but it certainly appeared like he had that cup out in front of John Jay's glove, didn't give him an opportunity to make that play.
This is not a challenge. This is an umpire crew chief review. And they just showed the replay on the video board, and it's pretty conclusive. The beer is in front of the pocket of the mitt.
Yep.
And they have a very nice video review board here. Here's a look. Watch the beer in front of the glove.
And it looked like John Jay made contact briefly with the baseball, and it was on the good side of the fence. It wasn't over the fence. He jumped straight up. His glove was straight up. It wasn't like he was reaching up into the bleachers to make that play. The fan reached out over the field of play.
Well, at least he's got a replacement beer.
Yeah, well, drink it fast. You're going to be out of here soon.
We'll see what New York has to say as they take a look.
I mean, when they showed the replay on the big board here at Petco, even Eric Hosmer kind of leaned back in his seat and went, oh no.
Headset's about to come off. And they say home run.
Oh no, that's horrible.
So it's a 5-3 ball game. And that's going to be it for Robbie Ray. Home run has made it a 5-3 ball game. One out here in the bottom of the fifth. New pitcher for the Diamondbacks, the right-hander Brad Ziegler. Now the call, of course, on that home run is not made here. It's made in New York, and they must have an angle or some viewpoint on that said it was not fan interference.
Well, from the angles we had here at the ballpark, it certainly appeared to be fan interference. But as you said, in New York, they have other camera angles. They can break it down frame by frame by frame. Still hard to believe.
Hunter Renfroe. 0 for 2. He knocked in a run with a ground ball in the first inning. So Robbie Ray will once again not get the victory. Not able to complete 5 innings. Robbie's last win, June 27th. So this will make him now winless in his last 9 starts. Robbie 4 1/3, gave up 3 runs on just 2 hits. He walked 5 and struck out 3, gave up the 1 home run. 2-2 on Hunter Renfroe. Called strike 3.
Nice job by Brad Ziegler to come in and restore some order immediately against big Hunter Renfroe. Starting with a sinking fastball just off the outside corner, but they get the call. Tried to induce him to chase a pitch down out of the zone. He eventually does. Takes that frisbee off the plate and then takes a frisbee on the inside corner for a called strike 3.
Villanueva knocks that one to the wall in right center. And he's got a 2-out double.
Pitch by Pitch is always brought to you by Nationwide Vision Center's Eye on the Game. That ball shot into the gap quickly off the bat of Villanueva right there. Got some backspin on that ball. Gritting his teeth as he made contact and perfectly splits that gap in right center for a 2-out double.
Here's Austin Hedges, the catcher. Just the 3rd hit for San Diego, but they've got 3 runs. We will from time to time get emails from New York about sort of clarifying the decisions made on the replay, so hopefully we'll get an explanation as to what they saw on the Eric Hosmer home run. But clearly they decided no fan interference. John Jay might disagree. He's got beer all over his glove. Three balls and 1 strike. Galvis on deck.
You know, if you replace the beer that gentleman was holding with the ball glove, it kind of reminded you of that Jeffrey Meyer play back in the day when he reached over the fence and stole the ball away from, I forget who the right fielder was, Tony Tarasco maybe?
Good call.
From Baltimore.
That was 96, was it?
Sounds right.
Good count, 3-2. Ziegler came on, struck out Renfroe, but Villanueva doubles. Hedges walks, and now here's the shortstop Galvis, who is over 2. A run in for San Diego. 2 on and 2 out. Homeboy's phone is blowing up.
I can hear fireworks in the distance. Over at Seaport Village, every night they shoot off fireworks.
John Jay coming on. It's in the lights, and he's able to collect that one. We are through 5. It's been a wild one. 5-3 Diamondbacks. He will start Sunday's series finale. He will also bat for the pitcher Brad Ziegler to start the 6th inning. D-backs bench a little thin right now. Nick Ahmed has been ejected. David Peralta is not in the dugout. We don't know if David is in the clubhouse. Given the day off by Torey Lavello. We haven't seen Peralta yet. So Greinke bats to start the 6th.
Well, and if indeed David Peralta is not here, we assume he is, but if he's not here, you only have John Ryan Murphy and Alex Avila available off the bench for the rest of the ball game.
Second inning of work for Diaz on in relief of Joey Lucchesi. Diaz worked a 1-2-3 fifth.
It takes me a little while, but I found the rule, I believe, that applies to the play out there that John Jay had in left field. It's 601 subsection E.
It's in the bylaws.
Yes, it is.
What does it say?
Well, there's a lot of words there, but the key line as Greinke goes down on strikes: no interference shall be allowed when a fielder reaches over a fence, a railing, or a rope into the stands to catch a ball. Well, that clearly did not happen.
Right.
He does so at his own risk. However, should a spectator reach out onto the playing field side of a fence, railing, or rope and plainly prevent the fielder from catching the ball, then the batter should be called out for spectator interference. I don't know how it could be any clearer than that.
Well, we have heard from New York City. Our producer Brad Weimer has been told that the umpires reviewing the play could not definitively conclude that the fan interfered with John Jay, which is the official explanation, which is the best we can do. Sure looked like he did from our vantage point, but they said no in New York. They could not determine conclusively that Jay was interfered with. And he singles with 1 out in the 6th. His second hit tonight.
Well, it's been a long time since I've had to remind the fans of this, but the people sitting in the replay center back in New York are the same guys that are working on the field. They rotate into New York to sit at the replay desk and check plays just like the one we saw, but they're the same guys that are on the field every other day of the week.
They could not definitively determine that Jay was interfered with in the field of play, which is a key phrase there with that ruling. And so I'm guessing that from that angle they couldn't determine if the beer hit the glove over the seats or over the field, and that's a very important distinction. And so the home run stands. Here's Escobar, who has walked and singled today, 1 for 2.
In the short time he's been here, Escobar has shown that not only is he a good hitter, he's a smart hitter. He knows where the holes are in the defense, and with Eric Hosmer holding on John Jay down there at first base, big hole on the right side of the infield, I would assume Escobar's looking for something middle in that he can roll over and try to pull through that right side. Take that, nothing close, take your walk. Link at bats.
Well, 2 on and 1 out now. Here comes AJ. John Jay at second, and Eduardo Escobar at first. 1 out. D-backs about hit the Padres 10-3. They lead at 5-3. Miguel Diaz is split this year between AAA El Paso, AA San Antonio. He spent a lot of that time as a starting pitcher, 24 games, 11 starts. Worked mostly out of the bullpen in San Diego last year at the big league level. AJ fouls off a breaking ball, and it's 1-2. Rockies have already won. Another mound visit by the Padres. Colorado beat the Braves in Atlanta 11-5. D-backs began tonight a game and a half ahead of Colorado atop the NL West. And the Dodgers are all over the Mariners. It's 11-1 Los Angeles. They're in the 8th inning at Safeco Field.
A bunch of Dodger homers in that game. We showed you Manny Machado earlier. He hit another one in the game. He had 2. Yasmani Grandal with a home run. Max Muncy hit number 27, and Matt Kemp hit number 18 in that game for the Dodgers.
Rough night for Wade LeBlanc, who got the start for Seattle. Walker Buehler for LA. So Colorado has one. The Dodgers on their way to a win. Diamondbacks need this one here, leading 5-3 in the 6th. Two and 2 on A.J. Pollock. Goldie on deck. Goldie's had a big night, a home run, a walk, and a single. A 2-run homer in the first, his 28th of the year. '96 from Diaz, a fastball by Pollock. AJ struck out 3 times tonight. 2 on and 2 out for Goldie. 3rd strikeout for Diaz.
We just passed the 2.5-hour mark here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Just in case you're wondering, the D-backs' longest game this season came back on April 2nd against the Dodgers. 5 hours and 46 minutes, but that was 15 innings. We might hit that in a 9-inning game here tonight.
There's the 1-0. Fastball is low. Goldie's home run in the first means he's now reached base safely in 36 consecutive road games, a new D-backs record, breaking the mark he had shared with Eric Burns. Three and 0, Souza on deck. All 4 Goldie walks for the 2nd time tonight. He's reached base at all 4 plate appearances. And with 2 outs in the 6th, they're loaded up for Steven Souza Jr., who doubled in the 3rd. Jay's at 3rd, Escobar's at 2nd, and Goldie's at 1st. Diamondback batters have drawn 5 walks. Padres batters have drawn 6. Fastball misses down and away, 1-0.
It's like there's a force field in front of the strike zone tonight.
I know it.
Wow.
These aren't the droids you're looking for. Bullpen has been busy all night for the Padres. Jose Castillo, the left-hander. Here's the 1-0 to Souza. That one's in there, 1-1. Steven has been very productive lately. Last 24 games, all but one of them starts, he's hit .315. He's hit safely in 8 of his last 9. Fastball up, 2-1. Diaz has thrown 33 pitches, 17 strikes and 16 balls. Fastball's in there, 2-2. D-backs 5 runs, 10 hits. They've left 6. Padres 3 runs on only 3 hits. They've left 7. Bases full. 2 outs, 2-2 on Steven Souza Jr. Missed at 97 and it's full.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. Runners will all be on the move on this delivery. A well-placed base hit might score Goldie all the way from first base.
Souza in the 3rd, double to the gap in right center. There's a lot of room out there. So here we go, 3-2. And Souza sends one to the gap. And Margot's over to cut it off. Jay scores. Escobar has scored. And here comes Goldie. A 3-run double for Steven Souza Jr. Make it 8-3.
Atta baby, that's a big knock the Diamondbacks have been looking for tonight. 3-2 pitch. Comes with that changeup on the outside corner, little sinking action, and Souza's all over it into that gap in right center. Boy, Goldie, he runs hard all the time, but especially with 2 outs in the inning and he's on the move at first base, a lot of guys just kind of start jogging towards second and wait and see what happens at home plate. Not Goldie, he just takes off running as hard as he can, assuming that ball's going to be hitting the gap and he's going to score.
Second double tonight for Souza. Here's Descalso. Daniel caught looking at strike 3, his first time up against Diaz to start the 5th. We have seen a little bit of everything here tonight. And we got a ways to go yet.
My eyes are scarred.
So's your psyche.
Oh, man.
It's not been a crisply played game. It's not even the length of the game. It's just kind of been clumsy. A lot of walks.
A lot of full counts.
Fan interference call that wasn't a beer in the glove. A little bit of everything. Friday night at the ballpark. Two and one on Descalso. Miguel Diaz just up for the minors today. His 2nd inning in relief of rookie Joey Lucchesi, who lasted only 4. Lucchesi on his way to his 4th loss in 4 starts against the D-backs this year. That one's foul behind Dave McKay at first.
Clumsy game is a good way to put it. Both starting pitchers struggled with their command. You have an umpire behind the plate that calls a tight strike zone. It just didn't add up well early in the ball game tonight.
And then the strike zone was less than tight as we went on. Started expanding. Ahmed got ejected, arguing balls and strikes in the third after he was walking back toward the dugout. That's why Descalso's in the game. Took over at second. Marte slid over to shortstop, replacing Nick, who was run in the third.
A little bit of history here between Daniel Descalso and Miguel Diaz out there on the mound. Daniel 2 for 3 lifetime with a home run and 3 driven in.
We've also tonight, and it's only the 6th inning, mind you, seen each team use a pitcher as a pinch hitter. Robbie Erlin and Zach Greinke. Hello. That pitch basically sums up the entire game. Full count, 3-2. What? Said that at least 24 times tonight. Popped it up. And Diaz has got it to the pitcher in foul ground. Souza, a 2-out, 3-run double. It's 8-3 Diamondbacks. Berthiaume, Bob Brenly, Jody Jackson with you. D-backs lead the Padres 8-3 as we start the bottom of the 6th inning. 2 more games to play in this series, Saturday and Sunday. What's next brought to you by CenturyLink. Game 3 tomorrow. Zach Godley, who has been just tremendous lately, gets the start for the Diamondbacks against lefty Clayton Richard. D-backs live pregame show at 5 o'clock tomorrow. First pitch 5:40 on Fox Sports Arizona. Yoshihisa Hirano is on to work the bottom of the 6th inning. Manuel Margot, the center fielder, leads it off.
Yoshi's been a big-time strike thrower this season. Hopefully more of the same here tonight. Restore a little order to this ball game. That Steven Souza Jr. double gives the Diamondbacks a little more of a comfortable lead at 8-3.
Margot 0 for 2 so far. There's strike 1. Pitcher spot is up next for the Padres. Travis Jankowski is out there in the on-deck circle for Andy Green. Dodgers lead at Seattle 11-1. The Rockies won at Atlanta 11-5. Diamondbacks have 11 hits. They've scored 8 runs. There's a fly ball to right for Souza.
The day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACS50 at papajohns.com.
So Jankowski is announced as the pinch hitter for Diaz. He doubled to lead off the game last night. Jankowski 260 and 2 home runs. 1 for 4 in the leadoff spot last night. And he sends one out to center field for AJ. 2 outs. Well, Yoshi's going to get the pitcher of the game award. 2 outs on 4 pitches so far.
He'll get some Cy Young votes for this.
Here's Jose Pirela, who has walked twice and scored twice from the leadoff spot. He's 0 for 1. Boy, Pirela's a guy that he really looked like he was going to be part of their future last year. By the time, or from the time he was called up by San Diego last June the 6th to the end of last season, he led them in batting average. He looked like a nice player, but he's sort of been buried on their bench this year. Yoshi comes on and works his magic, gets us to the 7th. It's 8-3 Diamondbacks. Trying to make it 2 in a row over the Padres in this series. They lead it 8-3. The third of the order is due up for the Diamondbacks. Don't forget, D-backs fans, you can join our season ticket holder family with a purchase of a full, half series, or weekend ticket plan. 2019 D-back season tickets on sale right now. You'll enjoy early entry, concession and team shop discounts, postseason priority, and a whole lot more advantages. For tickets and more info, check out dbacks.com/advantages. 2019 season seats on sale right now. Here's the left-hander Jose Castillo. His 22nd appearance of the year, a 3.32 ERA. Third pitcher of the game for Andy Green's Padres. Ketel Marte leads off the Diamondbacks 7th. He has doubled and walked tonight, 1 for 2. Fastballs a strike, quickly 0-2. Jose Castillo, big left-hander out there. 6'5", 246 pounds, 22-year-old rookie out of Venezuela. Only given up 13 hits in 21 2/3 innings this year. 27 strikeouts. He has split the season between AA San Antonio, AAA El Paso. Working all in relief. He's got 8 saves in the minors this year. Full count, 3-2. Jeff Mathis on deck.
Yeah, you look at the numbers this season, the Padres and the Diamondbacks have 2 of the better bullpens in the National League. Padres rank first in innings, which not necessarily a good thing. 3rd in ERA, 4th in batting average, 1st in on-base percentage, and 1st in WHIP out of the Padres bullpen. Diamondbacks are close behind in every one of those categories.
Well, Kirby Yates has been really good for Andy Green. We liked what we saw from the wing enter last night. He looked good. Robert Stock was throwing 100 miles an hour. They got the veteran Craig Stammen, who's done a good job this year. Maton throws hard. .97 from Castillo, and Marte strikes out.
You mentioned Trey Wiggins, who got hit with that line drive in the ball game last night. He's listed as day-to-day. He is available, the Padres are insisting, but probably won't see him for at least a couple of days.
Here he is. Trey Wingenter. He's pitched mostly in El Paso this year. Mathis. And an RBI single in the second, 1 for 3. Pitcher spot is up next. Alex Avila out of the on-deck circle. There's another fastball from Castillo, 0-1. Again, David Peralta not in the starting lineup tonight. We have not seen David in the dugout. Nick Ahmed has been ejected. Descalso's come into the game. They've used Zach Greinke as a pinch hitter so far, so the bench is thin tonight. 1-1 on Mathis. Jake Diekman, a left-hander, set to go for the bottom of the 7th inning. It'll be Myers, Hosmer, and Renfroe, 2, 3, and 4 for San Diego. And Castillo throwing fastballs right by these D-backs hitters. It's 1-2.
You've got that kind of cheese, that kind of fastball in the upper 90s working across the top of the zone is a real good plan of approach against any hitter.
Why is that?
Tough to catch up to high heat, especially that four-seamer that has what they call a little bit of hop at the end. It looks like that ball takes off when it leaves his hand. He's consistently missing now up above the top of the zone, but I think it's a good plan of attack for a guy that throws as hard as Castillo.
Avila will hit for Hirano. Well, Castillo went to a full count on both Marte and Mathis. Gets 2 strikeouts, and here comes Avila.
Just another high velocity fastball up and out over the plate, maybe in the upper quadrant of the strike zone.
So Avila will be used as the pinch hitter against the lefty. Alex had a 2-run single in the D-backs 5-run first last night. He homered Tuesday at Texas. His 6th of the year. Alex this season 5 for 25 against left-handers. His home run at Texas was against a left-hand pitcher. Padres have the shift on. There's a strike 0-1. Castillo a strike away from getting the side in order on strikes.
Struck out Marte and Mathis with high velocity fastballs up in the zone. 2 breaking balls to Alex Avila, both in the strike zone. He falls behind 0-2 right away.
Again, the Padres have their outfield shifted over toward left center field. Alex, did he hold up? Yes, he did, says Sean Barber. 1-2. Margot in center is well over in left center field, and Renfroe well off the line in right.
Another slider. Shook off the fastball to go back to the slider again for the 4th time in this at bat.
And he put it right in there. Castillo strikes out the side. We stretch in San Diego. It's 8-3 Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks with a 5-run lead over the Padres. Tonight is game number 123 on the season. I caught up with the general manager, Mike Hazen. You'll see that interview tomorrow on Diamondbacks Live, the pregame show. And with a win tonight, the Diamondbacks will have one more win than they did at this point last year. But I asked Mike Hazen to kind of compare both teams. He said, this year I feel that the pitching and the defense are more locked in. And he feels that's the basis for any good team. The offense can improve, of course, but he's seeing good signs there. He talked about the schedule as well, guys, and the interleague play we'll see when we get back to Chase Field and the role of advanced scouting. So much more from Mike Hazen coming up tomorrow on the pregame show.
All right, Jody, we'll look forward to that. That starts at 5 o'clock tomorrow on Fox Sports Arizona. 5:40 first pitch for game 3 tomorrow from San Diego. Zach Godley against Clayton Richard. Jake Diekman on to work the bottom of the 7th inning. He'll face Will Myers, Eric Hosmer, and Hunter Renfroe, 2, 3, and 4 for the Padres. Meyer grounded out his last time up. He's walked twice. We talked about this at the top of the show, how dominant Robbie Ray was over the second half of last year. Robbie struggles the second half this year continue. He lasted only 4 1/3 tonight, threw 107 pitches to go 4 1/3. Including 10 full counts.
Ouch.
Robbie only gave up 2 hits, 3 runs. He walked 5, struck out 3, and went to 3 2 on 10 different Padre hitters through 4 1/3. And then you had Yoshihisa Hirano, who got 3 outs on 6 pitches in the 6th inning, and now Diekman's on to start the 7th.
And the thing about the full counts with Robbie, if you think back, a lot of those were 2 strike counts with a foul ball, foul ball, foul ball, ball 2, foul ball, ball 3 to get to the full count, but threw a lot more than 6 pitches to finish the at bat.
Diekman rings up Myers, brings up Hosmer, who has singled and homered and knocked in 2 runs. The disputed non-call on a fan interference play involving John Jay in left field. New York said they could not definitively determine if Jay had been interfered with in the field of play. This was one of the more unusual plays we've seen all year. Here's a nice high hopper to Marte at shortstop. This was Hosmer's home run with 1 out in the 5th inning. The fan with the beer appears to put it in front of John Jay's glove, but New York looked at it. They said they couldn't determine if the interference, if there was any, happened over the field of play or in the stands, which is a key distinction there with that call.
All you need to do is watch the beer slopping out of the cup. It fell onto the warning track. He was reaching out over the field of play. I don't see how they could miss that one.
Well, they said it was not enough to get the call overturned, which was home run on the field. Here's Hunter Renfroe. So the home run for Hosmer is 12th of the year. I guess if the glove hits the beer's going to spill forward, but if the glove hit the beer over the wall, then it's not fan interference. And Renfroe bangs that one into the left field corner. And he hustles into second with a double. Hunter Renfroe.
Just over the head of Eduardo Escobar down there at third base. And gets down into the left field corner where John Jay hustles over to hold him to a double. 19th double of the season for Hunter Renfroe.
Christian Villanueva, the second baseman, doubled his last time up, 1 for 3.
Villanueva had a 3-homer game earlier this season against the Rockies back on April 3rd. He's one of those guys, when he gets locked in, he can barrel up the ball for a week or two at a time and basically carry a team offensively, but he's got a whole bunch of swing and miss in there when he's not locked in.
Most of his damage this year coming against left-hand pitchers. Over 340 against lefties this season. Oh, that one tied him up, and it's 0-2. Padres still only have 4 hits in the game. Hosmer is singled and homered. Doubles by Villanueva and Renfroe. Got him.
The fans are booing, but that was just a slider that got away from Jake Diekman that time. But Villanueva, as we mentioned, fouled a ball off that front foot last night. He did it again earlier in the game today, and then it appeared he took that one off the outside of the left ankle. Big slider from Diekman, starts inside, goes further inside, and yeah, catches him right on the outside of that left foot.
Ouch. Making his first career start at second base tonight, Christian Villanueva. He was in at third last night.
When you talk about the bumps and bruises and dings of a baseball season, Villanueva is a perfect example. The last couple days, that left foot has just taken an absolute beating. And it's not going to feel better anytime soon, and he'll probably be in the lineup again tomorrow. Slight limp on that left foot.
I don't understand. He's out. He's on first base. It must have stopped hurting.
It did. It just stopped hurting completely.
Yeah, sure. So 2 on and 2 out. Here's the catcher, Austin Hedges. He has reached on an error, struck out and walked. There's a fastball from Jake, 0-1.
And those little dings like that can really add up. I mean, you think about a guy sliding headfirst into second base and jams his finger. Not bad enough to come out of the game, but bad enough so that he can't get a good grip on the bat. So suddenly he goes in the tank for 2 weeks offensively, and you go, oh, geez, what happened to him? Well, he can't grip the bat.
Diamondbacks bullpen is busy. We've seen Ziegler, Hirano, and Diekman so far. Archie Bradley starts to get loose now. Robbie Ray went 4 1/3. Gave up 3 runs on 2 hits. He walked 5. Two and 2. Final in Seattle. Dodgers beat the Mariners 11-1. Rockies won in Atlanta. They beat the Braves 11-5. D-backs began the day game and a half up on Colorado, 2 games ahead of LA, leading the National League West. Trying to improve to 9-3 against the Padres this year, and 5-0 here at Petco Park, with 2 more games to play in this series, Saturday and Sunday. There it is. Diekman strikes out Hedges and strands 2 through 7, 8-3 Diamondbacks. Lead the Padres 8-3. D-backs baseball on this Friday night, brought to you by Dos Equis. Keep it interessante. A lovely night here at Petco Park. Steve Berthew, Bob Brenly, Jody Jackson with you. Diamondbacks a chance to take the first 2 games in this series, maintain their 1.5 game lead over the Rockies atop the NL West. Rockies and Dodgers have both won tonight. John Jay leads off the 8th against left-hander Jose Castillo, who struck out the side in the 7th. 1-2-3. Jay tonight has singled twice and scored twice. By the way, BB, this just in, the Cardinals won. They beat the Saints.
Yeah, there you go.
In New Orleans. Josh Rosen threw a touchdown pass. 10 of 16 for the Bruins rookie with a touchdown. Parade will be Monday. I know Tori Lavello's excited about Josh Rosen, a former fellow Bruin.
Oh, yeah.
But I think they're going to be in very good shape with Sam Bradford, certainly for a while to start the year. He's a very good quarterback if he can stay healthy. No reason to rush Rosen.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what jersey Torrey wears on the next road trip. We just got a text message earlier today that the next road trip to San Francisco, guys can wear the jersey of their favorite team. So
that's the next dress-up theme. What are you going to wear?
Well, I don't know. A lot of choices. I joked earlier that I should wear my Blue Jays uniform since nobody ever got to see me in it.
Do you still have it?
Yeah, I've got one.
Oh,
yeah,
those were cool uniforms, man. Those old Blue Jays. 2-2. I gotta have to dig out the Steve Grogan jersey out of the closet.
I like your idea about your Don Money jersey. That's money.
I got a Don Money jersey somewhere in there. The legend, Eduardo Escobar, on deck. Center field, Margot shaded well over toward left center, but he runs it down. Castillo's retired all four he's faced. I think I got a Hartford Whalers sweater somewhere in the closet too. I'd have to represent the Whale. Escobar has walked twice, singled, scored twice tonight. Batting second, starting at third base. You may need to put on either a Ohio U or a Buckeyes jersey. Brad the Big Dog Weimer is going to be representing the maize and blue.
Oh, okay.
So we'd hate to see Ohio State not get represented.
We'll be represented when it counts.
So all kinds of implications there. Well, Michigan will probably win. 2-3 games this year. They'll probably have a good year.
I haven't really checked their schedule. That might be a little lofty.
Yeah, it's a stretch. How are the Fighting House Cats looking this year? Have you had a chance to take a look?
I haven't really had a chance to check with my advanced scout yet. I've been so focused on Diamondbacks baseball, it's been hard to even think about football for me. I can't really get too much into preseason football.
Well, it's almost that time.
Playoffs.
Playoffs?
Playoffs, that's right.
Got two new coaches. You got Herm at ASU.
Yeah.
Kevin Sumlin down at U of A. Got a Heisman Trophy candidate, too, playing quarterback at Tucson. Escobar sends one deep to left. And the Diamondbacks lead it 9-3. Eduardo Escobar. His 18th of the year.
Oh, breaking ball that just stayed right in the middle of the plate for Escobar that time. Most of his power comes from the left side, but there is no doubt about this one. Way back to left field, off the facing of the second deck.
That's a jumbo jack, free jumbo jack tomorrow, a Jack in the Box with a purchase of a large drink. Second D-back home run tonight after Goldie homered in the first. Here's AJ. Well, he is not a big guy. He's 5'10", 185, but he can launch him with the best of them. Got a lot of power. 21 home runs with the Twins last year. That was number 18 this year.
He just uses his hands so well from both sides of the plate. Occasionally that pitch will end up a little farther inside than he was anticipating, and he can pull his hands in closer to his body, still get the barrel on the ball.
Now 9 runs on 12 hits for the Diamondbacks. Test for Will Myers at third. Goldie has reached safely in all 4 plate appearances. Here's Andy Green to check in with James Hoy. Spangenberg's going to come in the game and replace Villanueva at second base. No sign of a new pitcher yet, and now Andy Green will go out to the mound and get his left-hander. We'll take a break. It's 9-3 D-backs. Diamondbacks lead the Padres 9-3. We're in the 8th inning at Petco Park. Fans, complete your bobblehead collection coming up Saturday, September 8th. The Ketel Marte Luchador bobblehead, courtesy of Pepsi. D-backs and the Braves, a 5-10 matchup. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. Don't miss that bobblehead. That is pretty awesome. Here's Goldie to face the new pitcher for the Padres, the right-hander Robert Stock, who worked an inning in the ball game, the 8th inning last night, through 30 pitches, and got Goldie to fly out to right on a 3-2 pitch to win that 8th inning. 2-0 so far. Goldie tonight has homered, singled, walked twice, and scored twice. Spangenberg in at second, replacing Villanueva. I'm guessing that he will hit 9th, pitcher spot, now 5th in the Padre order. Big night for Goldie. A home run is 28th of the year, a 2-run shot in the first, and there's the ball 4. It's been a big night for Steven Souza Jr. as well. He doubled in the 3rd and then hit another double in the 6th with the bases full and 2 outs. A 3-run double for Souza, who's 2 for 4.
I don't think it's just a coincidence that Steven Souza Jr. heated up after doing a cup of coffee.
Hot coffee.
Hot coffee is right
there, yeah. The debut episode coming up Sunday after our ball game on Fox Sports Arizona. Our thanks again to Steve and to Nick Ahmed. Nick also shot a cup of coffee episode that'll debut in early September. Steven is a very interesting guy. He's been through a lot, and he was really frank and honest about his journey to the Diamondbacks, which has had its share of ups and downs. So it's a really good program. Josh Kellman and his staff did a wonderful job putting that together.
Is this like the old Barbara Walters things where you try to get him to break down and cry?
He did. He burst into tears, but no. No, he had a good time.
Yeah, I think it's great. I've said it many times before. I think fans love to see more of the person, the guy out of the uniform. What makes him tick? What does he like to do? And I think this is just a great show. I love watching it.
The food is great, too.
Well, that, too.
First watch, they did a nice job for us.
And I think guys aren't as guarded because they know you're around the team every day. They're familiar with you. And I think maybe they open up and talk about things that maybe they wouldn't normally talk to a member of the media about. That trust factor.
First Watch Restaurants is where we shot that. One of Steven's favorite places. Nick had never been there before. That one's just found. Boy, the food there is unbelievable. Oh, tremendous. Everything's fresh. And that'll be just fine, thanks. 2-2. Stock throws hard. We saw him hit 100 miles an hour in the ball game last night. Well, Padres have a whole bunch of guys that throw 95 to 100. There's 96 upstairs, and it's full 3-2. Descalso on deck. There goes Goldie, and that one's fouled away. Another fastball from Stock. And there was a time where Steven Souza Jr. told us he was going to quit baseball, and in fact did. Briefly just left his team in the minor leagues one day, was going to go play college football, and then just decided, no, I'm not ready to give it up yet. And here he is. Goldie on the run, broken bat. It bounces into center. Goldie will head for third. Third hit tonight for Steven Souza Jr. A broken bat, part of it sailed about 20 rows up into the stands somehow. That one got over the screen.
Stock with a high velocity fastball inside just shattered that bat. Steven able to muscle it into center field and chase Goldie around to third. But that, yeah, you're right. That barrel somehow got over or through the screen.
Yeah, I don't know how that even happened. Everybody's okay, fortunately. A chance for Daniel now. First and third, 2 outs. 99 from Stock. There it is. Most of the bat. Fortunately, everybody's okay. Descalso came into the game in the third inning to play second base after Ketel Marte was moved to shortstop because Nick Ahmed was ejected by plate umpire James Hoy after a strike 3 call that Nick didn't like. Got pretty heated. Nick, after he got tossed, went back out there to continue arguing with James Hoy. Torrin Lavello had to come get him. And Descalso strikes out to strand 2. Escobar's homer, his 18th of the year, tacks on another run. And as we head to the home half of the 8th inning in San Diego, it's 9-3 D-backs. Lead over the Padres. Don't forget, fans, if you can't watch the D-backs on TV, you can stream the games live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. It's brought to you locally by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the free app. Take Fox Sports Arizona and your D-backs with you wherever you go. Matt Andriese on from Diamondback bullpen to work the home half of the 8th inning. Freddie Galvis will lead it off for the Padres. So we've seen Ziegler, Hirano, Diekman, and now Andriese all in relief of Robbie Ray, who lasted only 4 1/3 tonight through 107 pitches. He walked 5. Galvis so far 0 for 3. Fly ball to center. It backs up AJ. Just shy of the warning track. 1 out. Diamondbacks are going to be glad to take this win, certainly. They'll stay a game and a half ahead of Colorado atop the NL West. 2 games up on the Dodgers. But I wonder, Bob, when is it time to start worrying about Robbie Ray, who is now 0-2 counting tonight in his last 9 starts. Robbie's not won since June 27th. And the command, which you've hoped would eventually sort of find its way here, evaporated again tonight. He walked 5 batters in 4 1/3 and had 10 full counts in the ball game. 10 times he went to 3 and 2. And I'm sure it's not time to think of anything drastic yet, but the Diamondbacks need Robbie Ray here. So important for them down the stretch last season.
Yeah, maybe you change your thinking when Robbie takes the mound until he proves he can get back in the strike zone. Maybe you have to pull the plug a little shorter than you would normally like to. We talked about it earlier. Torrey likes his starting pitcher to walk off that mound with a lead. He wants to give them a chance to get a win in the ball game, but if it's going to start to tumble this direction for Robbie Ray, you might have to think about pulling the plug earlier and getting into that bullpen.
That's what happened tonight by default when the pitch count got out of hand again. Buchholz was outstanding last night once again. The complete game. Godley's been terrific. He goes tomorrow. Greinke, we know what he's done. He pitches Sunday, but Robbie Saturday at Cincinnati earlier on this road trip, 106 pitches to get through 5. And tonight, 107. He lasted only 4 1/3. 2 and 2 on Manuel Margot.
Well, we're assuming there's nothing physically wrong with Robbie. The velocity looked good. When he did throw his slider near the strike zone, it was as effective as it's ever been. It's just the inability to consistently command anything.
Margot launches one to left field. And that one is gone. Another one that just gets over the glove of John Jay out there, the 6th of the year for the Padres center fielder. There we go again.
That time I believe the fan was over the wall and John Jay was reaching up into the seats to try to make the play.
Last time John had beer poured all over his glove. It was ruled no fan interference. Not certainly in the field of play. That was the ruling from New York. Spangenberg took over at second base for Villanueva, his first at bat tonight. He singled in the ball game last night, 251 and 7 homers. Here's one more look. I think that's gone. But the ball was coming almost straight down there, hit very high in the air. But that's the important distinction with that call. Did the interference take part in the field of play, which is on the other side of the fence. If the fielder and the fan sort of collide in the seats, then it's not fan interference. He has to reach over into the field of play.
Yeah, fortunately, it doesn't happen often over the course of the season, but it could. I mean, it's very easy for the fan sitting in the front row to just reach over into the field of play, and we've seen it happen repeatedly. It's hard to fight your instincts when you see a ball coming your way, but maybe scoot the seats back a little farther, raise the fence a little more, do something to take the fans out of the play.
Yeah, the seats keep getting closer to the infield and the outfield.
I've softened somewhat over the years. My solution to that used to be electrified razor wire on top of the fence. That'll keep fans from reaching over, but that's probably a little bit extreme.
Don't want to have to play your home games at Stalag 17 if you can help it. There's a nice William Holden reference for you. 3-2. And that's ball 4. So 1 out, and then a home run and a walk for Andres brings up Perela, who has walked twice and scored twice tonight. 0 for 2. Here's a deep fly ball to center field. Sends AJ back just shy of the warning track. Spangenberg back to the bag, 2 outs. And it'll bring up Will Myers. Myers has walked twice. He's 0 for 2. Diamondbacks put 3 defenders on the left side of the infield. Goldie playing behind the runner, Spangenberg at first. Swing and a miss. Here's the Andres cutter or cut changeup. Andres has a unique changeup. It sort of moves like a cut fastball, which is in the opposite direction of most changeups thrown by right-handers. Archie Bradley and Andrew Chafin in the Diamondback bullpen. I saw Andrew in the clubhouse before the game today. I said, "How's the little one doing?" And he had this big smile, whipped out his phone, and just started firing pictures away. So he's a very proud new papa.
Absolutely.
He said, "All she does is sleep. Look at those chubby cheeks."
Enjoy it while it lasts.
That's lifted into the seats and out of play. Same 2 teams tomorrow, game 3 of the 4-game set. D-backs live pregame show at 5 o'clock on Fox Sports Arizona. 5:40 first pitch. Zach Godley and Clayton Richard Conley going for win number 14 on the year. He's 13-6. Zach Greinke pitches here Sunday. Well, that one didn't miss by a whole lot. There's that cut changeup moving away from the right-hand batter. 2-2. That was a strike earlier in the ball game for James Hoy.
A changeup that cuts. Would that be a chutter?
If it can be a churve, it can be a chutter. There goes Spangenberg. Mathis blocks that one and rolls away. He was running on the pitch. I'm not sure they gave him a stolen base there. Full count, 3-2. Up the middle, but the shift is on. Descalso, the second baseman right there. And Matt Andres gets us to the ninth. It's 9-4 Diamondbacks. Baseball fans everywhere, not just here in San Diego, certainly. 9-4 Diamondbacks as we start the ninth inning. Fans get to any game with the D-backs Value Pack this year. D-backs Value Pack gets you a game ticket, a hot dog, and a Pepsi, all for only $25. Get your tickets, dbacks.com/value. Ketel Marte leads off the ninth. Robert Stock back out there for the Padres. Marte has doubled and walked. He scored a run. And Pereira comes and runs that down in left. Here's Jeff Mathis. Jeff has an RBI single, 1 for 4. D-backs 9 runs on 13 hits. Padres 4 runs on 5 hits.
Yeah, good to see the Diamondbacks carry their offense into the middle and latter portions of the ball game today.
Yeah, 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the fourth, and 3 in the sixth. They added 1 in the eighth on the Escobar homer. Uh-oh, we got a wardrobe malfunction. That's Pereira in left. He's trying to be discreet about it, but he's standing all by himself out there in left field. No place to hide. It's still unbuckled. Please hit one to left field. Please. He is sans a belt right now. Now, when you were playing, do they have the spandex thingies, the Sansa belt waist things?
We had the elastic belts, and we also had just the solid leather belts, and guys wore whatever was comfortable. You couldn't really tell the difference from the stands or on television.
Well, here's the dilemma. How do I have enough time to take the glove off so I can rebuckle the belt? Well, now he's got a minute. Let's see what he does here as Mathis strikes out.
Go to the bullpen. Get a belt from one of your relief pitchers out there.
Oh, he can't buckle it. I think he broke the belt somehow. But he seems to be okay. Andriese will hit. His second career at bat. Or third, pardon me. Outfield will come in for the Padres. See if Matt will at least take a hack here, down 0-2.
His last at bat came on July 19th, 2016.
And he looks at strike 3. Bottom 9 from Petco Park. It's 9-4 Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks lead the Padres 9-4. Goldie a 2-run homer in the first. Steven Souza Jr. a 3-run double in the 6th inning. Eduardo Escobar is homered as well. That's been the offense primarily. A short night for Robbie Ray. 4 1/3, but 107 pitches for Robbie. He walked 5, and now Matt Andriese is out there for his second inning in relief to finish off San Diego.
That's why the occasional complete game, or at least an 8-inning performance by your starter, and have your closer come in and finish, or whatever it may be, those are so important over the course of the season, because every now and then you're going to bump into a game like this where your starter runs up a high pitch count. You have to pull the plug early, and it helps to have a rested and ready bullpen on nights like this.
We have seen Ziegler, Hirano, Diekman, and Andriese now. Hosmer has singled and homered. He's knocked in 2 runs. Rockies have already won. Dodgers have already won. Diamondbacks will maintain their game-and-a-half lead over Colorado atop the NL West. They'll stay 2 up on LA. Torrevello looking at Zach Godley and Zach Greinke to finish out this series Saturday and Sunday. D-backs will improve to 9-3 against the Padres this year, including 5-0 here at Petco. 2 more games to play in this series. Padres are back at Chase Field for a quick 2-game set starting on Labor Day. And as Hosmer strikes out, then we finish the 2018 regular season here at Petco Park. Final weekend of September, a 3-game set. Here's Hunter Renfroe. Pitcher spot up next for the Padres. Franmil Reyes is in the on-deck circle. Padres still have only 5 hits in the ball game. 2 of them are home runs. Hosmer in the 5th and Margot in the 8th. And Matt Andriese gets his second strikeout, 2 down. San Diego, this will be their 5th straight loss. They'll drop to 29 games below 500 and 21 games behind the Diamondbacks NL West lead. Here's Franmil Reyes. Last man standing for San Diego. He started in right field last night, went 0 for 4 and struck out twice. Jody Jackson standing by. D-backs live postgame show. Follows our ball game. Escobar's got it at third. Long throw. And that's it. D-backs have taken the first 2 games of this series. 9-4 the final. And they match the season high now 13 games over 500. Last time the Diamondbacks were at that mark, June 28th. They improved to 68 and 55. They maintain their game-and-a-half cushion atop the National League West.
I would much rather have an ugly win than a pretty loss, and this was an ugly win tonight for the Diamondbacks, just proving that they can find a lot of different ways to beat the opponent.
Much more from Petco.